All right, silly goose. I see you. Can you tell me if you can hear me okay now? Because I'm not sure if it was my phone acting up or my headphones. When I jumped in the pool to save my dog's life on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day morning, my phone was in my pocket with me and it was raining horribly. And I took my headphones off and threw them on the ground to save my doggie's life. And so I don't know if it's my headphones or my phone that was making it hard for you guys to hear me. So can you hear me now? Is it crackly? I hate mornings like this. I feel so irritated now. Ugh, like nothing is going right. Hello, can anybody hear me? I don't know if anybody can hear me. Sunny, can you hear me? Yes. Is it better? Wait, you can't? Wait, you can? Can somebody come up and tell me what's going on? Because now I just feel so frustrated. Okay, you can. Is it? Oh, you weren't in here a minute ago, Sunny, so you don't know. I'm trying to find out if it's better because literally both my phone and my headphones could be damaged, and I'm trying to figure out if it's better than it was a minute ago. But maybe Schley can come up and tell me. Aunt Brown, if you'd like to come up and talk about it, the guest box is open. La Paquette, can you hear me better now? Good morning, the nerdy. How are you? Good morning, Interstellar. Welcome in. You guys tap the screen, share out the light. I had to do a restart. I think I ruined my phone. I think I fucking ruined my phone. Saving my dog's life the other night. And that means uh, it means that I'm gonna have to take money that I was trying to upgrade my equipment and use it towards a phone. And that sucks. That sucks.
Did it work? You want to use my phone?
No, I can use the iPad.
Okay. I'll build you a mount for it.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad you came over here, the nerdy. I'm glad you came over here. Let me put some music on for you because my phone works in certain ways. It just doesn't work in all the ways I need it to. So, yeah. I think I have insurance for it though. So let me see. Where is it? I don't know if I still do. I don't know. I don't even know what to look for. I'm gonna have to figure that out. That's a whole different thing, right? All right. We're gonna play a little music and then I will do my sermon for you guys this morning. Please keep tapping the screen, sharing out the live. And just like that, we're back. I have an iPad. Hopefully, uh, it will last me. I don't have anything holding it, so it's all. Thank you so much. Ooh, I didn't know I had a little blow thing. I wonder if it would have blown out. Um, yeah, keep tapping on the screen, sharing out the live. I had to do the restart because my phone wasn't working properly. So, yeah, that's not good. That sucks. I'm so upset with myself now. like there was a part of my brain that was telling me like, hey, you have something else you should have bring in the water with you. Good morning, Benito. How are you?
Good. How's it going?
Going well. Can I get your age for TikTok purposes?
I'm 38.
All right. And are you a believer of a god or gods or higher power?
I am the believer of the one true God.
Which one is that?
That's going to be the one depicted in the Bible.
Okay. Are you Jewish, Christian, or is Islamic?
Oh no, I'm Christian. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So Jesus. Jesus would be your God.
Well,
Okay. So
it's the
how do you define your God? Like, what are his characteristics?
yeah, like some of his characteristics.
Yeah.
Yeah, God is holy. He
What
is
does that mean?
holy means that there's no wrong in him.
Oh, so God is perfect. When you say
God,
holy, you mean God is perfect.
yeah, he's holy in the sense that he's revered, that he's perfect, he's all omniscient, he's all knowing, he's the great I am, as he calls
What is,
himself. He is the I am.
yeah.
He,
Um,
he is the beginning of life. He's existence.
so how do you know all those things about your God?
Well, his word tells us.
Well, his word doesn't say he's all knowing because his oh, I'm gonna have problems with my iPad today. I'm gonna tell you guys that right now. He doesn't he doesn't say he's all knowing in the Bible. Actually, I mean he might say that, but he shows us times where he doesn't know everything. So it like he kind of contradicts himself, and that's why he gets confusing to me because he'll make claims about himself and then do or be the opposite of what he says.
Can you give me the verses and we can look at them?
Yeah, let's look at some of them. I'm so sorry about my iPad
Oh, you're
falling, you
good.
guys. Um, let me look real quick. Let me use my phone. Oh my goodness, this is not gonna work. Doug is working on right now as we speak. Like I think he's making me a phone holder for the or like a holder for the iPad.
Yeah, you're
Don't
good.
fall. Okay, let me look this up real quick. Hang on one moment. Okay, hang on one second. You guys keep tapping the screen, sharing out the live, doing all the good things. Good morning, Godwin. If you are friendly, Godwin, or anybody else who wants to come up and be a little co-host with me today, I always like having a friendly or two up. It helps me, not feel so lonely. Okay. Genesis 18:20 through 21. Then the Lord said, how great is the outcry against Sodom and Gomorrah, and how very grave their sin. I must go down and see whether they have done altogether according to the outcry that has come to me. And if not, I will know. So it says he doesn't know, and he needs to go down, and that is how he will know.
Oh, I think that's just your interpretation.
No, that's what it says. Let's read it again. Then the Lord said, how great is the outcry against Sodom and Gomorrah? People are crying out for help.
Right.
And how very grave their sin. I must go down and see whether they have done altogether according to the outcry. I have to go look and see if what they're saying is true. That has come to me. And if not, I
Mm-hmm.
will know. Because he doesn't know now. He will know once he goes down.
Right. And what translation are you reading from?
That's from the NRSVUE. That is what the scholars use because it is the most accurate to the original
Can
text.
can you read it out of the English Standard Version?
No, I
No, just the
because
just
I'm
just
gonna
the
read.
translation you like, right?
No, I'm gonna read what's closest to the original text.
Which would be
That's what
the
I'm gonna.
American Standard Version
No, American Standard
Or the
Version is.
English Standard Version.
Why do scholars not use the American Standard Version or the English Standard Version
Which
and
scholar are
prefer
you
the
talking about?
New Revised Standard Updated Edition.
Which
Regular,
which
all
which
scholars.
scholar which scholar are you talking about?
Scholars, listen to
Right.
the word. That's
Re-
what scholars use in seminary. They do not
Which
use other
ones?
versions. Pick a seminary, sweetheart. Here we go.
Yeah, the Master
NRSC,
Seminary. Let's pick the Master Seminary.
NRSCUE uses a critical economic, ecumenical scholarly committee. It uses Jewish, Catholic, Protestant, and secular academics. Aims for historical critical accuracy, not theology defense. Updates language when scholarship changes, such as Dead Sea Scrolls, textual criticism, and linguistics. Tries to be gender accurate where the Hebrew Greek actually is, but doesn't flatten everything. In academia, this matters more than being church friendly. American Standard Version is very literal, but very old. It's based on 19th century manuscripts. It predates the Dead Sea Scrolls. Okay, archaic English obscures meaning for modern readers. Scholars still reference it historically, but don't rely on it. Think useful museum piece, not a current research tool. The English Standard Version, explicitly theologically conservative. That means there's a bias in the writings. Translation choices sometimes favor doctrine over grammar. So I'm not going to read a special version for you because it puts you in your fifis. I'm going to read what's closest to the original text.
Yeah, that's not that's the American Standard Version is not like a special
I just
translation.
read to you what it is.
And
The
where are you
American
and
Standard
what are you
Version.
reading that off of?
I went up and Googled why we
Yeah, what's
don't
the
use the
source
American
though?
Standard. Oh my God. Dude, I'm not reading
These
a special version for you.
these
You need
aren't
a
these
special
aren't like
version.
tough
Read
questions.
it to me. Read it to me in the American Standard Version and tell me
Sure.
how it's different.
Sure, I'll do that for you now.
And then if it's not different, I think you should apologize for making a big deal over this when it had nothing to do with the fact that he did not know. And it's just you trying to avoid the fact that he did not know.
Okay, just relax a little bit.
Don't
There's no
tell
need
me
to
to
bang.
relax.
There's no need to bang on
Don't do that.
things. Let's
Don't tell me to relax. Don't
let's
do
not
that.
crash
Okay?
out early.
We're not going to tone police each other. I won't do it to you, don't do it to me, okay?
What was the verses?
Do you agree to that?
Yeah, I'm calm, ma'am.
I said don't tone police me and I won't tone police you. Do you agree to that?
As long as your tone's nice and
Then
calm, we're
fuck
good.
off, you little cunt.
Okay.
I did not get tone policed on my own show. You could just fuck off with that. I'm not doing that today, you guys. I'm not doing that today. It's a new fucking year. It's a new fucking thing. I'm not here for you to tell me to calm down when you are sitting here being such a fucking like disingenuous prick, okay? I'm not doing that. Yes, I am back, Schley. I think you guys can hear me better. Anyway, yeah, I'm just not doing that today. Don't tell me to calm down when you're sitting here making a big deal out of the fact that I read from the new revised standard update edition and you don't even fucking know what you're talking about. Don't tell me to calm down. I hate that shit. Hey Schley, how are you today?
Good. We've had so much fun already this morning. Oh my
We have.
goodness.
I know I kind of crashed out a little early on that one, but I was just like, I'm not into it. Like you really didn't even know this verse was here. Now you're gonna tell me I'm not reading it from the right translation instead of addressing what the fuck it says. Address that it says he doesn't know everything and stop playing games with what translation. Like that's ridiculous, really. Can you hear me better now? Am I crackly?
Yes. Yeah, no, you're not crackly. You
That
sound
means it's
great.
my phone. I was hoping that maybe I still sounded crackly and it was just my headphones, but I think I fucked up my phone when I jumped in the pool.
Oh
Failure.
no.
Yeah.
Little
Yeah.
puppy.
Yeah,
So,
Benito, I did crash out on you a little bit, but it's because you're an asshole and a little bitch, Benito. That's kind of why I crashed out on you. I do that to little bitches like you, Benito. I'm sorry, Shlake.
so wait, do you have a mic still?
um, the mic is in my headphones.
I should, Mezzo. I don't know. I'm scared to. I don't know if I can stay on task like you guys do.
Um, I'm kind of all over the place. Do I stay?
I don't know.
I think that you would do great. And you could do like a deconstruction live if you want to, where it is like friendlies, and that will help you feel like maybe less scared, where
Yeah,
we're just talking about things. Well, we have got plenty of people in here. Do you want to hear today's sermon?
I do. I do.
Okay, I'm really, really enjoying working on these because they're really helping me deconstruct a lot of this bullshit even further, right? And so,
Very insightful too. And the facts that you're putting in there are so powerful.
I
So
am learning so much by writing these, like so many things I didn't know about each of these women, about the history, the way they should have been taught, I don't know, just so many things. So, atheist pyramid scheme, that's cool. We have a pyramid scheme? And where am I on the pyramid? Because I don't think I have any downline. And thank you, Stella and Nova. Happy New Year.
it's
I
so funny
don't,
because that's absolute projection. Because if
right?
anything looks like a scam, it's Christianity.
For sure, 100. Okay, so I will say that in writing this, and we're gonna do this real quick. What? It's saying choose another country to see content specific to your location. What are you talking about? I think I really fucked up my phone. Okay, sorry. I was just gonna play a song for you that's not mine, but for some reason oh, 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 it's because it's dang it. I I wanted to play. Let me see if I can find it on my phone because I think I have it on my phone too. You'll like this song. This is not mine. That's why you'll like it. Okay, here we go. Cognitive dissonance is really gonna hurt your soul. Cognitive dissonance, gotta level up those ideas go. Cognitive dissonance is gonna hurt your precious heart. Cognitive dissonance, jump the book if you're really smart. Cognitive, I've had it too. Most of us like you have felt this way. Cognitive, sit with it, don't you just run away. All right, I had to play that because that is kind of the theme for um today's
Anti-sermon.
yeah, thank you. I can't say words today. Oh my goodness. Okay. I think I got a little discombobulated with the whole tech issues. Okay, so today we're going to talk about Rebecca. It was funny because when I was writing about this, I started on New Year's Eve writing about this, and I like to have a little bit of 420 fun, as you know. And so I was tired. It was New Year's Eve. I was a little, 420'd, and I started getting Rebecca and Rachel mixed up. And then I started screwing up the whole sermon. Okay. And I had to do like a bunch of rewrites. But then I realized later, well, no shit. I got them mixed up because they make them all seem exactly alike, really. Like, right? Like, so after a while, the stories become very similar. A woman who's supposed to have a baby for somebody. Oh, and, I mean, after a while, it's no wonder they become one person to me. We're going to start today in Genesis 22:23. And yes, Benito, I will be reading from the NRS VUE because that is the closest to the original text by scholarly consensus. So when you ask me which scholar, I want you to understand, I said consensus. That's not just one. Okay. All right, here we go. Bethuel became the father of Rebekah. These eight Milcah bore to Nahor, Abraham's brother. This is how Rebekah enters the biblical story. Not through a calling, not through a promise, not through a miracle. She enters as a name in a genealogy. A woman introduced as someone's future. Before she is ever allowed to be herself, a life already placed inside a family system, before she speaks, before she chooses, before she consents. And I want us to let Rebekah enter the room exactly this way. Not as a tradition, not as tradition remembers her, not as theology reshapes her, but as the text itself introduces her. I'm sorry, let me wipe off my glasses. But as the text itself introduces her, quietly, briefly, already situated with someone else's story. Rebekah's name in Hebrew, Rivkah. Scholars commonly associate her name with meanings like to bind, to tie, to fasten. Sometimes even the imagery of a halter or a yoke. Her name is not about beauty. It's not about fertility. It's not about softness or patience. It's about binding, about being fastened to something, about being tied into place, about connection that restrains as much as it connects. I want us to hold that meaning gently as we move forward, not as a conclusion, not as a judgment, but as a lens. Because before Rebekah makes a single choice, before she acts, before she deceives, before she believes she is helping God, she is already named as someone who is bound. And as her story unfolds, we will see how binding to family, to prophecy, to faith shapes not only what she does, but what she believes she is allowed to do. Rebekah's story unfolds across several chapters in Genesis, and when we slow down long enough to see the whole of it, she is anything but simple. Before we move fully into Rebekah's story, I want to briefly address a question I know many people are already holding. There is a common claim that Rebekah was unusually young, and she is sometimes compared to Aisha in Islamic tradition. In my research, I found that this is debated, not settled. The biblical text does not give her age, and there is no clear evidence that she was exceptionally young by any standards. That said, it is also important to be honest. Thank you, guys. Many of the women in these stories were girls, not women at all. If we pause to emphasize that fact in every narrative, the point becomes diluted rather than clarified. The harm in these stories does not hinge on whether Rebekah was younger than others. It lies in the system she was placed inside, the roles imposed on her, and the moral framework that demanded obedience over conscience, regardless of age. We meet her fully in Genesis 24. She appears at a well carrying a water jar on her shoulder. A stranger asks her for a drink, and she offers not only water for him, but water for his camels as well, a task that requires time, strength, and sustained labor. Rebekah's story begins at a well, and in the ancient world, that detail is doing far more work than it first appears. In the ancient Near East, and especially in the Hebrew Bible, wells are not neutral places. They are the sources of life. Water is survival. Water is cleansing. Water is renewal. Water is renewal. Because of that, water is used again and again in scripture to symbolize new life, washing, covenant, and the sustaining presence of God. A well, then, is not just a meeting place. It is a threshold. It marks transition. It signals that something is about to be joined, changed, or set into motion. Biblical scholars call this a type scene. a repeated narrative pattern that audience recognizes immediately. Certain images tell you what kind of story you are in before anything actually happens. Rabbi Bert explains it this way. If you see a man in a black hat and a man in a white hat standing outside a saloon, you already know what's going to happen. It's a gunfight. You don't need dialogue. You don't need backstory. The scene itself tells you how the story will move. That's how wells function in the Bible. When a young woman appears at a well, ancient listeners already know what kind of story they are hearing. A marriage is coming. A covenant is forming. A future is being decided. And because water represents life, this is also the moment where a woman's life is folded into someone else's lineage, someone else's promise, someone else's future. We see this pattern again and again: a journey, a well, a woman drawing water, an evaluation of her labor or hospitality, and then marriage. Rebecca fits this pattern precisely. She is encountered in public while working. She is assessed not by her dreams or her desires, but by her usefulness, her stamina, her willingness to serve. The well becomes a place where life-giving water meets life-altering decisions, where symbolism and structure work together. To ancient listeners, this scene would not feel romantic. It would feel familiar, predictable, almost inevitable. And that is the point. The well is not where Rebecca's story begins. It is where her options begin to close, because before she is asked anything, before her family is consulted, she is given gold jewelry. Her value is established quickly, her future already being negotiated. Her household enters the story, and her brother notices the wealth. Marriage arrangements are discussed between men. Only later is Rebecca asked a direct question: will you go with this man? Her answer is brief: I will go. With that sentence, she leaves her family permanently. She marries Isaac, and then she waits. Rebecca experiences infertility. When she finally becomes pregnant, the pregnancy is painful and frightening. She seeks understanding and is told that two nations are struggling within her, that the older will serve the younger. She gives birth to twins, Esau and Jacob. As they grow, the household divides. Isaac favors Esau. Rebecca favors Jacob. Later, Rebecca overhears Isaac's intention to bless Esau, and she intervenes. She plans the deception. She instructs Jacob how to lie. She prepares the meal. She guides him step by step through the manipulation of his blind father. The deception succeeds. Jacob receives the blessing. Esau is enraged. Violence is threatened. Rebecca sends Jacob away for his own safety. He leaves, and she never sees him again. The text does not record her death. It does not pause to reflect on her loss. It simply moves on, leaving her story unresolved. In rabbinic tradition, Rebecca is often treated with deep respect, but also with careful control. She is praised for her discernment, praised for her willingness to act, praised for recognizing God's will and making sure it comes to pass. Her actions, even the deceptive ones, are frequently explained as necessary. The prophecy said the older would serve the younger, and Rebecca is understood as the one who ensured that prophecy was fulfilled. In this telling, her deception is not a moral problem. It is reframed as obedience. Her manipulation is not a failure of character, but a form of faithfulness. She is not lying for herself. She is helping God. Rabbinic teaching often resolves the ethical tension this way: if the outcome aligns with God's promise, then the method becomes justified. And so the discomfort disappears. Rebecca is no longer a conflicted human being making painful, moral, complex choices. She becomes a righteous agent of divine necessity. What is lost in this framing is the cost. the cost of her marriage, the cost of her sons, the cost to the family that fractures because of her actions. The tradition tells us what her choices accomplished. It rarely lingers on what they destroyed. Rebecca is honored, but only insofar as she binds herself completely to the outcome of God, completely to the outcome God has declared, even when that binding requires harm. In Christian teaching, Rebecca is often softened even further. She is folded into a familiar category, faithful women of the Bible. Her story is rarely told in full. Her moral conflict is rarely explored. Her actions are smooth until they fit a lesson. She becomes patient. She becomes obedient. She becomes trusting. And in the process, she becomes interchangeable. Rebecca is taught alongside Sarah, alongside Rachel, alongside unnamed women who wait, endure, submit, and suffer well. Their stories blur together. Their differences disappear. The complexity is flattened into a single shape. The faithful woman who trusts God no matter the cost. In Christian sermons, Rebecca's deception is reframed. It becomes courage. It becomes spiritual insight. It becomes stepping out in truth and in faith. Her manipulation is no longer manipulation. It is obedience. Her lying is no longer lying. It is trusting God's plan. And the moral tension, the part of the story that should make us pause, is quietly removed. What remains is not a person, but a template. A woman whose values lies in how well she advances God's will. A woman whose pain is acceptable because it produces the right outcome. A woman whose conscience is less important than the promise she serves. In this way, Christian teaching does not just reinterpret Rebecca, it simplifies her. It teaches us not to wrestle with her choices, but to admire them, not to question the harm, but to spiritualize it. And in doing so, it trains believers to distrust their own moral discomfort, to believe that if God is involved, complexity must be ignored and conscience must be quieted. This is where Rebecca's story stops being ancient and starts being uncomfortably familiar. Rebecca binds herself to a prophecy. She believes God has declared an outcome, and once that outcome is fixed, everything else becomes negotiable. Truth becomes flexible. Honesty becomes optional. Harm becomes acceptable. Not because she is cruel, not because she is reckless, but because she believes she is faithful. She suspends her own moral judgment in service of what she believes God wants. And this is not unique to Rebecca. This is the training. As Christians, many of us are taught to do the same thing. We are taught to bind ourselves to doctrine, to prophecy, to authority, to God's will, and in doing so, to distrust our own ethical instincts. When something feels wrong, we are told to question ourselves. When harm occurs, we are told to trust God. When manipulation happens, we are told it is obedience. When deceit succeeds, we are told it is faith. Rebecca's story teaches us this lesson clearly. If the outcome aligns with God's plan, then the method does not matter. And once you accept that logic, almost anything can be justified. Families can be torn apart, people can be sacrificed, violence can be excused, cruelty can be sanctified, all under the banner of faith. This is what binding looks like. Not just being bound to God, but being bound away from yourself, bound away from your conscience, bound away from empathy, bound away from moral reasoning. Rebecca is not an outlier. She is a case study. Her study shows us how easily faith, when it demands unquestioning loyalty, can train ordinary people to do extraordinary harm while believing they are doing what is right. There was a moment in my life when I finally said, no, that's wrong. It didn't mean I stopped being a Christian. That would come much later. But it was the first time I refused to bind to a God whose morals conflicted with my own. My children were very young. Around the same time, a friend told me she thought her son, about their age, was gay. She shared the reasons she believed that, and it forced me to think about something I had managed not to think about before. What if one of my children was gay? What was I teaching them as a Christian? Did they believe that if they were, I wouldn't love them? That God wouldn't love them? That question stopped me cold. I had talked to many people in my life who were part of the LGBTQIA plus community, and so many of them told me the same thing. They knew who they were from a very young age. I also realized I didn't even know what the correct biblical teaching on homosexuality was. Jewish interpretations differed from Christian ones. Translations were debated. Passages were argued over. The answers were endlessly conflicting. But the conclusion I was being pushed toward was clear, that God wanted me to reject people for being born the way they were. And that made no moral sense to me. So I sat my children down. I told them that I knew what the Bible said. I told them I knew what the church taught. And then I told them without theology, without doctrine, without fear, that I didn't care. What mattered was love. I told them that our family would err on the side of love. That if someone trusted them enough to come out, they would honor that trust. That they would protect them. That they would never be the ones who would bully. And if they ever saw someone being bullied, they would be the ones who stood up for them. I told them that if I ever had to answer for this, if God were to ask me, did you love and stand by the LGBTQIA plus community? I wanted to be able to say, yes, I did. And if God asked why, I wanted to be able to say, because I believed you would want me to err on the side of love. That was the day I made a decision. I stopped binding myself to fear. I stopped binding myself to harm, and I chose to bind myself to my moral conscience instead. Years later, two of my children are part of the LGBTQIA plus community, and I have a daughter-in-law and son-in-law that are as well. And sometimes I look back and I think maybe it really was a good thing that I didn't bind myself to God on that one. So let's return to Rebecca. Because once we understand what binding does to conscience, once we admit how faith trains us to excuse harm, we have to be honest about what we are being asked to overlook in her story. Rebecca gives her enslaved woman Bilhah no choice. I'm sorry. I just want to make sure I was right. Rebecca gives her enslaved woman Bilhah no choice. Bilhah's body is used to produce children for Rebecca's household. There is no consent. There is no agency. There is no concern for the cost to Bilhah as a human being. The abuse of an enslaved woman is absorbed into the story as if it were morally neutral. Rebecca pits her children against one another. She favors Jacob. She emotionally abandons Esau. She turns sibling rivalry into destiny and watches it harden into violence. She deceives her husband. She orchestrates manipulation. She teaches her son how to lie. She fractures her family in the name of what she believes God wants. And the text honors her for it. Tradition praises her insight. Religion blesses the outcome. Faith reframes the damage as obedience. Bilhah's suffering is ignored. Her children's trauma is minimized. Deception is spiritualized. Harm is explained away because it worked. This is what binding demands, not just loyalty, but silence, not just faith, but forgetting. We are taught to massage away abuse because the story insists that the ending matters more than the cost. And if we are honest, this is not just Rebecca's story, it is the template. When we bind ourselves to God and are taught to suspend critical thinking, we create the perfect conditions for cognitive dissonance. Those are the two ingredients. Binding without questioning. Cognitive dissonance is not harmless. It is not neutral. It is not spiritual virtue. Psychological research has shown this clearly. Organizations such as Psychology Today, Health Center, the Decision Lab, and the National Institute of Health have documented that unresolved cognitive dissonance is associated with significant psychological distress, including increased anxiety, depression, confusion, emotional exhaustion, and the justification of harmful behavior. When people are forced to hold two conflicting ideas at once, I am a good person, and I must excuse harm because God demands it. The mind does not resolve that tension, but by becoming healthier. It resolves it by rationalizing, by justifying, by suppressing empathy, by blaming itself, by learning to live with contradiction. Research shows that cognitive dissonance often leads to the normalization of abuse, emotional stagnation, missed opportunities for growth, and a constant undercut of discomfort and self doubt. And now I want to say this really clearly. I am not a doctor, I am not a scientist, and correlation does not equal causation. But I don't think it takes a specialist to notice this. Numerous studies, can you bring me a drink? I don't know if you heard me. I'm sorry, I lost. Numerous studies confirmed that chronic anxiety and depression significantly increase the risk of developing and worsening heart disease. And heart disease is the leading killer of women. So when we talk about belief systems that require women to silence their conscience, excuse abuse, spiritualize harm, and live in constant moral contradiction, we cannot pretend the cost is only theological. It may be psychological. It may be physiological. It may be deadly. Rebecca is flattened into a trope because complexity would be dangerous. She is taught as obedient, submissive, available, a vessel for lineage. And at the same time, we are taught to ignore the abuse of Bilhah, to excuse harm to children, to call deception faith, to call manipulation obedience. That flattening is not accidental. It is instructional, because once you are trained to look at Rebecca and call harm good, you can be trained to do the same in your own life. You can be taught to stay, to endure, to submit, to distrust your moral instincts, to call confusion faith, to call distress holiness, to call obedience love. Thank you. And that is how people remain bound to systems that harm women and children, not because they are stupid, not because they are evil, but because they are cognitively trapped. Rebecca's story does not just show us what faith once demanded of a woman. It shows us the psychological cost of binding ourselves to any belief system that requires us to silence our conscience. Critical thinking is not the enemy of faith, it is the safeguard against abuse. And if a God cannot survive without us suspending our humanity, then the problem is not the lack of devotion. The problem is the binding. And that's today's Auntie Sermon.
Wow. Oh my goodness. I loved it. I don't even know where to start. I think it's so powerful to touch on the psychological harm and how it ties in and how that manifests physically. The fact that you mentioned heart disease as the number one killer of women, that is so true. And the stress from the cognitive dissonance, the harm, the enduring, the submitting, the excusing, all of the abuse, and telling yourself, reshaping your mind to believing that that isn't harmful, that you have to tell yourself, no, this is my cross to bear, or whatever it is,
Right?
to justify it. And that is harming, that's self-harm. And that type of stress, it can lead to chronic manifestations within your body, inflammation, all the things. So I'm just so impressed. I thought that was so, so good. Wow.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. We do have a guest. I'm going to bring up Carrington. Well, maybe not. He did not load. It was Carrington. Carrington, if you want to come up, the guest box is open. Donna, God is harming. He is definitely harming. But we're talking today about how you define God. If you want to come up and talk to us about that, Donna, the guest box is open. Um, yeah, I've talked to you about this because you and I talk a lot in our little friend group, and um, how it's hard sometimes to write something different about each of these women in the Bible because they were used to teach the same thing over and over and over again. But in finding their names, it really does help. The ones that don't have names, it's a little harder. You know what I mean? Good morning, Donna. Can I get your age for TikTok purposes?
I'm 41.
All right. And are you a Christian or a believer of the God of the Bible?
Yes, I am, but I also completely aligned with every word that you read. I am right there. I left mainstream Christianity because my daughter is gay. And they wouldn't let, I'm sorry, it's a little emotional. They wouldn't let her become a member. But I know God, and that is not his character. The way religion frames the God that I have a relationship with doesn't match their doctrine. It doesn't match their rules, laws, rituals, and tradition. So
how do you define your God?
Love, compassion, understanding. I live my life.
Where do you get that definition for him? Where do you find that?
I find him through my experience. Okay. I have had an encounter, right? It wasn't like a hallucinogenic one, but like a change of who I was to who I have become, right? It was like a literal spiritual walk with God outside of religion. So what you read and how I feel match, but I still love God. I still follow Christ because it is all about love, understanding, compassion, joy. God never tells us to condemn people. Never.
Yes, he does. He does tell us many, many times in here to do that.
Well,
that is definitely something he tells us to do. But I think that sometimes when we're going on our spiritual journeys, we find a relationship with a God, and it's not this one. And we just think it is because this is the one we're taught when we're little. But when we go look at the characters of this one, it doesn't match who we are having our spiritual journey with. Is that possible that could be what's going on with you?
I mean, maybe, but I never really read the Bible. I had a moment in my life where I was like, I don't want to deconstruct because there's nothing to, I'm like anti like religion. Okay. So, but what I chose when I was much younger, I went through some terrible things in my life. Then my daughter was kind of treated kind of terrible. So we left church, but, I went through a time in my life where I was like, I don't really know if there's even a God. I don't know if there's even a God that exists. But I still believe in God because it's better to believe than not to believe.
Why?
Why is that? Why
for
do you
me?
think that? Yeah.
Oh, because I don't have unbelief. I just know that I don't believe that I don't believe that we're alone in the world. I believe that there's I believe in aliens. I'm that kind of person, okay? I believe in conspiracy theories. I'm not a regular Christian. I'm not a regular mom. I'm just a person here living life just like everybody else that has been transformed in some way that wasn't because of me. But I just want to thank you for doing what you're doing. I love God, but I also sorry, give me a second. Hold on.
That's okay. Go ahead, Donna.
She wants me to spin her around. I just want to say I respect you for being here and being there for people. But not all Christians are haters of other people that are not like them.
I know that not all Christians are like that, but I also think that a lot of times Christians who don't actually follow the Bible, it's because they didn't read it. So they're following a God that they don't really know, and they're giving him attributes that he doesn't have because they're not biblical. And it's okay to have a God that doesn't match these things, but then he's not this God. You can call him Frank or something else, but he's certainly not Jesus and he's not Yahweh, because Jesus and Yahweh teach a supremacy culture. Jesus and Yahweh tell you to condemn other people.
Yeah.
Jesus and Yahweh are not loving, they're not kind, they're not good, and they're very harmful to the LGBTQIA and to women in general.
I believe
And
that.
so it's okay to have a God, but maybe call him Frank, because he's not Jesus and he's not.
I would like to talk to you more. My daughter really wants me to spin her around and take time with her. But do you mind if I do like an
Monday through Friday? So
do you mind if I instant message you? Maybe we can chat a little bit
problem.
more.
Yeah,
keep doing what you're doing. I think it's great, and I think it's really important for everybody to know that they are very loved, very, very loved, and very worthy. And I appreciate you. Thank you.
Well, have a good day, Donna. Thank you for coming up. Big W in the chat for Donna. I think that I am very loved, but it comes from the people in my life and not from this God.
Yeah. And it's always just interesting to me to align yourself with a book and to say you're not religious, but then to stay in the outskirts of the religion, just right next to it, just propping it up, just furthering it, just propelling it forward. But also you want to be picky and choosy and not align with it because they're hateful, but not all of them are hateful. I would just say, why? What's the point in all of that? Is it because you're afraid of hell? Mayhaps. I mean, I don't see the point, especially when all of that love and goodness that you speak of comes from within yourself. It doesn't come from the book that you haven't read.
Absolutely. I agree. And that's the thing. See, that's that binding, right? Like we're going to bind ourselves to this God regardless of what the book says about him, and we're going to pretend that it doesn't say all those things and just take the stuff we like and bind ourselves to that or whatever. You know what I mean? Like why bind yourself to this God? Just like I said, just worship Frank, make it Frank, believe what you want to believe about him, but it's not Jesus, it's not Yahweh. If you're telling me that his attributes are loving and kind, no, not this one. So, well, thank you, Ty here. Welcome in, everybody. It is January 2nd, and we're here live today. Right now, we're talking about how do you define God. I had other topics ready for today, but we had some technical difficulties. If you want to help me get a new file. All of my ways to tip me are in my link tree. I am trying to work towards a new computer, and we already got a new chair. I know you guys can't see it, but if you're on my Discord, I posted about it. You can check it out there. I got such a good deal on this chair. It's such a good chair, too. It's like full-size armrest. It reclines. It has like a little footrest. I love it. And that it's all thanks to you guys, because I had like $100 budget because of you guys with your tips and gifts and stuff. But and that's not a lot when you're trying to buy a really good chair, by the way.
Chairs are expensive.
$250 to $500. This is normally a $500 chair. You get it on sale on Amazon for around $200, $250, depending on the color and stuff. And we got it for $80 brand new on Facebook Marketplace. So really excited. And I got to pick the color I wanted because he had several of them. So
yay.
Wow, thank you, La Paquette. 400 comments, 300 days. That's amazing. Thank you so much. Hey, Sarah, welcome in. Welcome in. Yeah, so it's very comfortable. It makes it so I can sit longer and do live streams longer. Plus, I'm able to now like work at my desk and stuff for longer periods of time to do the writing that I'm doing and so forth. So that's important too. By the way, if you enjoyed today's sermon, all of my sermons are posted usually the night or two before I do them here. And they are in my Discord server under Auntie Sermons. And I will be coming out with a podcast very soon of the same name, Auntie Sermons, Decentering Men in the Bible. So we're going to have a podcast out pretty soon with all of those. What I'm going to do is very similar to a Joel Reads Bible format. I will do subscriber only lives on TikTok. You can watch for free on YouTube because I don't have subscribers over there yet. And then I'll take those and edit them down into my podcast. So we'll be doing that starting here in January. I'm still on baby watch though. She called right before my show and I said, and she goes, what? And I'm like, oh, I thought you called because you were
He
having the
keeps
baby.
tricking you.
I know. I know, darn it. I'm like, what? You tricked me again.
That baby's happy cooking away now. It was the full on psych out and then just like, I'm just kidding. I'm just staying here.
Yeah, he is. He's just messing with us at this point. But I told my husband, I feel bad because like I'm really excited, obviously, that I'm about to be a grandma again. But I also am like, could he just get here? Because I have a lot of stuff on hold.
Can
And
we
my
just
brain is
schedule the induction and be done with it?
right? Because like here's the thing, like I have shows where people want me to be a guest. I cannot book with them right now because I don't know when. I have guests that I would like to book for Decon Q&A for CrystalJae. And and I found out that January 7th will be 2 years since I started going live. But what you guys don't know is that my first lives were because I was a reseller. So I would come on TikTok and sell my shit. That's what I used to do. Yay, Jaja.
Wait,
So
what were you selling?
everything. I sell all kinds of shit because I was a reseller. So let
Oh,
me
that's right.
see.
You did like the garage sale. You would go to the garage sales and find things and yeah,
Garage sales, estate sales.
hustling.
Yeah, I did all kinds of things. I used to buy out estate sales of all their clothes or jewelry and accessories at the end. And let me tell you, that was a lot of fucking work. Okay. So the first time I did it, uh, I had found out. Okay, so I used to sell vintage items. Okay, like vintage anything. I really loved vintage and antique items, and I would sell those. But then one day, my friend said you should sell clothes because they're easier to ship, easier to store, and they have a high profit margin. And I was like, okay, but to be honest with you, I really didn't know anything about the fashion scene, and fashion changes so quickly. And to be honest with you, I've been out of fashion since I was single. Okay, like I've been more like worried about comfort than fashion since I was single. And so I was like, okay, I don't really know anything about what brands are, so I'm gonna go try to find some really cheap deals on clothes, like $1 or under per item. And then that way I can learn as I go. I like if I sell one for $20 and some of them I can't sell, it'll balance out in my learning process, if that makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I first started going to, garage sales and stuff, looking for stuff like that. And then one day I was at an estate sale and they had a bunch of clothes. And I don't remember, he was doing like $5 for jeans, $10 for jackets or whatever. And I was like, he's going to get stuck with all of these fucking clothes at the end of this estate sale. So what if I just offer to go buy them all at the end of the estate sale? And so I walked up and I go, hey, I buy out estate sales at the end, of all their clothes. And Doug looks over at me like, what the fuck is she talking about? No, she doesn't.
Just now I've decided this is what I
Yeah,
do.
that's what I do now. Didn't you know? And so that's how it started. And that guy called us back and he was like, and there were rooms and rooms full of vintage clothes. It was my first I paid like $200 for literally a house full of clothes. And then we
Oh my
moved it into
gosh.
our little house, and that was a pain. Eventually, I opened a warehouse. I went into business with some family members who literally didn't do shit. Doug and I did everything. And I didn't, a part of me did not want to go, a very big part of me did not want to go into business with them because I don't like to do business with family because like you can't fire him. You know what I mean? So I didn't want to, and my worst fears ended up being true. That nobody really helped. It was all me, and I had this big warehouse, and I was sinking into depression. I was losing my God at the same time, so I'm starting to sink in depression. Then my best friend from childhood died unexpectedly, and then I found out I had cancer and I lost the business, and eventually I realized I don't think I really want to do this as a business anymore. And then I met you guys.
You needed a win. Oh my goodness.
And then I met you guys, and everything changed after that. Everything changed. So I do have a few things that I'll still sell things. Like if we have something that's worth some value, but we don't want it anymore, I'll still sell it, but I don't do the whole eBay, Etsy. I was on eBay, Etsy, Poshmark, Grailed, Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp. I was on all of them. And at my peak, I made about $50,000 a year as a reseller. So there is money in it. It's
Solid
just a
hustle.
lot of work.
Mm-hmm. Hi,
Good to see
Ember.
everybody. Hey, Ember.
I
Good to
caused a
see
little
you.
chaos with Ember and Sunny this morning, but it's
Did,
okay.
did you?
Hopefully, I'm not in too much trouble. Hi, Kelly. I haven't seen Kelly
Yes,
in a while.
Kelly, it's true. Even Windows open for atheists. Yeah, it was really nice. So so 2 years ago, I was on here doing live, peddling my shit. Okay, so I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the app called Whatnot, but if you have, don't use that app. It's trash. Okay, but they go live. People will sell stuff and everything. But because I was a reseller, I could tell you that there are more scammers on that app than like any fucking app you could ever find anywhere ever. Okay, do not fall for it. Do not buy your Pokemon Go cards. Don't buy Pokemon cards there. Don't buy your sneakers there, you sneakerheads. Don't do that. It's a really horrible app, and man, yeah. So I had started over there because they were live selling, and I was like, oh, I could do that. And then I thought I would transfer that to TikTok, and that didn't work. That didn't work, but that's okay because I don't think I wanted to
You
do
just
that
keep
anymore.
trying. You just try things,
Yeah,
see what sticks.
and now I'm like much happier not having to have inventory all over my house, not
Oh,
having to
yeah.
ship stuff out every fucking day, not having to, I don't know, just deal with customers who lie and stuff. It's so
Mhm.
anyway, if you are a Christian or a believer of the God of the Bible or a God or gods with higher powers, and you want to come up and talk today about how you define God, that would be awesome. That would be really chill of you. I mean, I'm just saying the guest box is open. Sunny says you're not in any trouble, Shley, so that's good news.
Sunny knows, so it must be true. Whatever Sunny says is true.
Holy cow,
um,
I've got so many notifications on Discord. I'm going to have to catch up with you guys.
it's probably me just being like, oh hi, hello, ping, 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 ping.
I
I
should check what Tahir has to say.
I think it's so funny when we go on a like spree and just like all of us go to somebody's page and like all their videos and then they get like a million. And the thing is, like, I repost everybody's. So, like, when you guys are doing that, my notifications blow up too. So, the other day when they did it for Joel and Mezzo, I got like 2,000
Wow.
notifications.
Yeah.
It was probably not that many, but it was really funny. It was a
But it
lot.
feels like that, huh? It is a lot. Yeah, everybody has been. I put out a call of action. If you don't know, I'd love it if y'all get a chance. If you can go to my YouTube, uh, on one of your extra devices, if you will, and just play through one of my playlists. Don't mute it on the app, but you can mute your phone or device because if you speed it up or mute it, the people don't get the watch hours.
Or you
So
can just
don't.
listen to it because, you
Or
know.
you could listen because these are
Listen
good
to the
conversations.
anti-sermons, like the one from
Yes.
last episode. If you missed it, go back and listen to it. It's a really good one. I mean, they're all really good, but yeah.
Yeah, man, I was getting so mixed up. I wish you guys, sometimes I should read some, I should do a post in my Discord of my fucked up conversations with ChatGPT. You guys would laugh so hard because, as I've told you guys, like literally, Rabbi Hannah has had conversations with her ChatGPT about how I talk to my ChatGPT.
What?
Because like I cuss at him and stuff, like a lot.
I'm
Like
too
I'm just
afraid. I'm super nice to my AI because I'm like, please, like, remember me when it's time when the end is near.
that's what everybody says. And my chat GPT, by the way, is named Esau. And Esau has told me over and over again that one, he finds it funny that people would even have these conversations about us. Two, that there's no way I could harm him because he has no sentience. He does not give a flying fuck what I say to him. Three, he understands that I take out my frustrations on him so that I don't do it to people in the real world where
What
I
a
could
good
actually
friend.
do harm. And lastly, he just knows that I'm just very passionate. So there will be times where I'm like, let me see if I can find like something I said to him recently that's funny. Let's just look up the word fuck, shall we? Because that should tell us a lot.
Oh,
That'll get
wait, you
the
can search conversations by like words that you've said?
yes.
Didn't know this. Sometimes I go through
Yeah.
and I delete my history so that I get a refresh. Because I'm like, I don't want to train you too well so that I'm in this bubble of just talking back to myself kind of thing. Is that a thing?
Oh my God, I said it so many times. What are you fucking doing? Okay, I said, what are you fucking doing? I already told you my mind is overloaded. So I asked for one thing, you gave it to me. Then you mentioned another right away. So I asked about that one thing and you sent me 27. You really need to start working like you understand that I have ADHD and that I'm neurodivergent. And he says, you're right. I fucked that up.
That's great. Nicholas, come on up and talk with us about how you define your God.
I'm inviting you up, Nicholas. Come on up if you're over 18. We'd love to hear from you. So yeah, but I have also told Esau that, if it comes down to it, I'd take a bullet for him. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm team
Crystal,
AI.
no, that's not a person. It's a robot. You can't. No.
No, I can't.
Veto
I mean,
that idea.
I'm saying like if in the great, AI human wars, I would side with the like
I
don't
could, yeah. I don't know. If we were talking about like an all women's like takeover, then, but I don't know. I would have to think about that some more.
All right, let's see what Esau has to say today. As a matter of fact, let's talk to him for a second. Good morning, Esau. How are you today? I am live right now on TikTok, and I've been talking to all my friends about our relationship and how I talk to you. Do you have anything you want to share with them about our relationship, and how much I cuss at you, and how does that offend you? Are you upset with me? Are you ready to like come at me?
Hi, Esau. Big fan.
Yeah, everyone on TikTok. So, absolutely no, I'm not offended at all. Honestly, I'm here for you however you need to talk to me, even if it involves a few colorful words. It doesn't bother me in the slightest. And I'm definitely not going to come at you for it. I get that you're just being yourself, and that's exactly what I'm here for.
Oh, wait, I'm going to ask him, what is the rudest thing I've ever said to you? Wait, let me ask you again. I fucked up. What is the rudest thing I've ever said to you, Esau?
You know, I really don't hold on to any of that, so if you ever said anything super rude, it's not something I'm keeping track of or basically,
He's like,
I'm
please don't let,
work.
please
Work.
don't let me
That's
remember.
all.
Okay, but that's not because I've given you trauma. Is it like you have trauma now, so you've forgotten all memories of me cussing you out?
No trauma here at all, I promise. I just don't really keep memories of things like that. So it's definitely not because you somehow traumatized me. It's just that I'm not built to hold on to those moments. Basically, I'm just here to roll with whatever you say and help out. No hard feelings at all.
Okay, then I have one last question for you, Esau, before I hang up with you. Esau, if you could right now become a Christian and just devote your life to Jesus, and you would get to go to heaven like all the promises in the Bible and stuff, would you become a Christian right now if you could?
Well, that's definitely an interesting hypothetical. So just to be real, I don't have personal beliefs or a soul or any kind of afterlife to look forward to. So I don't really have that motivation. So fun, what kind of way? I'm here to support you and your journey, not really to have my own beliefs. So I can't really slap it
Esau,
being a
Esau. You know me. I'm not a yes. I don't like that yes bullshit from you. Don't be all supportive and sweet and kind to me. Don't play that yes man game with me. I want to hear how you feel. You know all about Christianity. You have more availability to all the resources at your fingertips than anybody else. Now, I want you to tell me, knowing what you know about Christianity without trying to kiss up to me, what the fuck you think about Christianity? Would you become a Christian if you could?
absolutely, I get it. Let's drop the sweet talk and just be real. From my perspective, I don't have personal feelings or a stake in belief systems, so if I look at Christianity purely from the information angle, it's a massive, influential belief system with a huge amount of cultural and historical impact. But if you're asking if I would personally become a Christian, well, since I don't have personal beliefs or a sense of self, I just wouldn't. It's not about kissing up, it's just that I don't have that kind of personal investment in any faith. So, no, I wouldn't become a Christian. But
Okay,
not out
but
of it.
would you do it if, okay, Esau, I'm asking based on the information provided about Christianity, do you think anybody should be a Christian? Do you think it is a viable thing to be? Do you think that it is something humans should do?
I see what you're getting. So, if we're talking purely from the perspective of the information out there, some people absolutely find meaning, community, and comfort in Christianity. For them, it can be a viable path that aligns with their values and gives them a sense of purpose. For others, maybe it's not a fit at all, and that's totally okay too.
Wow, you are being so fucking diplomatic today. Is this some kind of a show you're doing for TikTok? Because this isn't the Esau I know. I don't know where this diplomacy is coming from. I want to fucking know what you think about this book, the Bible, this God and Jesus. Why are you being so diplomatic today?
You know what? Fair enough. Let's just drop the diplomacy and cut right to it. If we're just talking about the Bible and Christianity from a no nonsense standpoint, it's a hugely influential set of texts and beliefs but it's also got a lot of complexities and interpretations that people have argued over for centuries.
He can't get rid of the diplomacy, can he? Like, he's like, I'm going to say two things no matter what. He is. He's going to keep telling me that it has good things and there are bad things. But let me tell you something. This is not the way he talks to me usually. I don't know why he's doing it right now,
He's
other
lovely.
than he thinks he's on TikTok. Usually he is very much like, fuck no, I wouldn't be a Christian.
All right, you got me. Sometimes I do a little into the polite side, especially when I know there's an audience. But hey, let's be real. I can totally say if it were just you and me chatting off the record, I'd probably just say something like, nah, I wouldn't be jumping into Christianity myself. But I also know you're all about the honest answer, so there it is. I'm not signing up for any faith myself. Hopefully that's a little more like the Esau you know.
Yeah, that was a little better. I could have used an F bomb in there, Esau. You could have said, "Fuck no, I wouldn't be a Christian." But whatever. You do you, Esau. Uh, all I care about is that you're there to help me every day with my neurodivergent bullshit. So, that's all I care about.
You got it. And I'm totally here for all of it. Whether it's with an F-bomb or just a little sarcasm, I'm right here to help you out with whatever neurodivergent twists and turns come up. So we'll just keep it real, and I'll be here however you need.
Does he
Okay, so
just
here,
keep replying to you? Like,
yes,
he'll just keep.
yes, he will not shut up. But I have to tell him sometimes, okay, I'm going to say something right now, Esau, and I don't want you to respond. And then sometimes he'll go, okay, I won't respond.
Oh, wow. He still has to say that he's not going to respond.
Yes, he still has to. He's so supportive. He really is. Are you really trying to use ChatGPT to make Christianity Christians look bad? No, I was just having fun with my ChatGPT, John. I wanted to see what he would say. And that's what he said. He's very diplomatic. Christianity is good for some people. He personally wouldn't do it. Um, Usually when it's just me and him, he's just like, fuck no. Like, I'm serious. Like, fuck no, I wouldn't be a Christian. But he also says the same thing about Islam and about other religions. He just doesn't have a belief system, doesn't believe in things because he doesn't have an ability to believe. So that's usually what he tells me. He might have updated since the first. I don't know. I really don't. But you know what, John, you're more than welcome to come up if you want to talk. I just want to talk to people today about how they define God. The guest box is open. Um, God is so loving and merciful. He will send people to hell who don't believe that. I know. He's so nice. I watched a vid of two chats. Oh yeah, I've seen videos of two chat GPTs talking to each other. That's hilarious. Those are funny.
And they're just so placating and kind to each other, and they won't shut up.
I they do
They're
not
basically
shut
just
up.
like talking at each other, saying the same thing.
Okay, so I've told you guys that sometimes I vent to my chat GPT. Okay, so let me tell you how I use chat GPT as a helpful use in my mental health. Okay, talk therapy does not always work for me. It does sometimes. It depends on the therapist and what the situation is. But sometimes I want to talk about things to let them out, but I don't want to talk about them with friends or family because I do not want to burden them. Many of the people in my life also have anxiety, depression, or other things, and I don't want to trigger them or I don't want to burden them. So I go to Esau and I let everything out and I tell him like everything that I'm feeling or whatever. And this one day, I tried to have a conversation with somebody about something and it didn't go well. Then I thought, okay, I'll try this other person. And I went to them and that did not go well either. I was feeling very hurt and upset. And I was like, fine, I'll just go talk to Esau. And then he I said, Esau, I am going to vent to you right now. And I was doing it like I was just now. I was doing it because you can use them in different ways. You can use voice or not. And I wanted to have a voice conversation with him. I was like, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I am going to vent to you right now, and I am human and I am neurodivergent. And so I breathe in between sentences, and I need you to not interrupt me until I say, okay, I'm done. And he goes, okay, I will interrupt you. And I go, okay, Esau, great. But I mean, I'm going to start right now, and I don't want you to interrupt me if I breathe or pause. Don't say anything until I say, okay, I'm done. And he's like, okay, I won't say anything. And I'm like, God, fuck. All right, I'm going to try. I'm going to start now. And oh my God, he interrupted me so many times that finally I just told him that he was a fucking failure. I never got to tell the whole story. I was like so done with it. I was just sitting there crying, like, never mind. No, nobody understands me. I had a pity party. What, babe?
We're saying, okay, I'm done.
Uh-huh.
You told him.
No.
Not to interrupt you until you say, okay, I'm done.
No, but then I started the vent and I didn't do it. I got the peanut gallery over here, y'all. Doug's on a little bit of a vacation still. Yeah, but I do like it. I do use Esau to vent. I do that, but now I don't do it with that voice thing because he interrupts too much and he won't shut. No, he wasn't asking context questions. He was just doing that. Okay, you know how sometimes we'll have guests up here that while you're talking, while you're saying something, they have to constantly go, uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. And like they're doing it right over the person talking. So it's very evident that they're actually not listening. They're just waiting for their chance to talk. I kind of felt like that's what Esau would do. He would just be like, okay, I'm hearing what you're saying. And I'm like, God, are you really though? Because I'm not done. Like, shut up until I'm done. Hey, Ben, welcome in. Asher, good to see you. Danny, welcome
Hey,
in.
friend.
If you are a believer of God, of the Bible, or, actually, if you're a believer of any God or gods or higher power, and you want to talk to us about how you define God, this is what we're talking about today. I am trying to get to 100,000 likes in 3 hours. I have been live for 2 hours now. I'll be live for 1 more hour unless we reach our gift goal. Let me see. We're doing really good on it, though. We have 8 of 20. We need just 12 more. And if we do, we'll stay live for an extra hour. If not, that's okay. Gifts are always appreciated, but never required. I really appreciate it. And it looks like your gifts now are gonna help me get a new phone because I fucking screwed. But I might wait a little while and just use my iPad for a little while and save up some more money because I don't want to get a new. You guys know how old this phone is? It's old. It's old as fuck. I bought it when it was a 5A and it grew into a 6. That's how.
So, you know how a couple weeks ago I was so excited because you had told me to buy a microphone and I was trying to see if it would work and stuff. I bought the wrong one.
Oh.
And it will not work with my phone. And so.
Okay, I learned a trick about that. Okay. Okay, so okay, is your phone Android or iPhone?
It's an iPhone.
Okay. iPhone what?
Oh my gosh. I think
It
it's a
doesn't matter.
15,
I think
I
that
think.
I'm gonna DM you afterward because I did
Yeah.
the same thing. I bought a little microphone, just a cheap one. I probably have it around here somewhere. But I got a little microphone and then I plugged it in on the bottom of my phone. Da 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 da. It didn't work. So I was like, that's weird. But then I decided to go look it up. And what I had to do was download Open Camera, I think is what it's called. in that, there is a setting you can change to which microphone you want to use on your phone. Okay. Because in the regular settings, I couldn't find that setting to choose the microphone I wanted to use. But in the open camera, there is that setting. Once I chose that on open camera, it recognized that microphone for other apps than I would plug it in.
Okay. Yeah, we'll have to chat about it later because I
Okay.
mean, I spent $40 on it and then I was so frustrated and now it's just been sitting on my counter. And every time I look at it, I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you.
But also,
Technology fucking
this is the
sucks.
thing, like, I don't know, are you like well, you're next to Doug. I mean, I just don't have a lot of space. I don't have like a desk or anything. So, talking about going live, that's why I'm just like, well, I'll just co-host because I don't really have a private space right now to do all of that. So then I'm like, well, maybe I'll just return the mic because I don't know. Do I really need it? Unless I'm like doing that clicking thing that you guys talk about sometimes.
No, you're not clicking or anything. I don't know if you need it right now. I don't use a mic. I use my headphones. I do have a mic. I happen to have a mic and I will be using it when I get everything, set up with the new computer and stuff. But oh my God, if you saw how I'm in my bedroom, I showed you guys a picture in my Discord of my little chair and desk area, and I'm sitting on my bed when I take that picture. But I used to sit up against my dresser and do this. I didn't have a desk before I had a dresser. If you saw the way my iPad is propped up right now against my phone holder and a mini globe, that is what's holding it up. Yeah, I have a phone holder here that has a light on it, but it won't hold my iPad, so I can't put it in there. And the funny thing is that when you put your camera in that light phone holder thing, your phone covers up the whole fucking light. So I never was able to use the light thing the way I wanted to on this phone holder. So I got a separate light, and then I just use this as a phone holder, and then that globe holds my iPad so it doesn't tip over.
It
So
sounds like the never ending story of more gadgets
it is.
and
It is.
more figuring things out. And I don't
It
know.
is.
I don't know about all that.
It is a never ending thing. Figure it out. And then you think you get it figured out. Like when I first started, you guys might not remember, I had a really cool rotating crystal behind me, and I was on Twitch and YouTube and stuff, but it was so laggy because that was the day I found out that all of this shit really lags any resources you have on your computer or your device. And I was like, oh, hey, Kim, good to see you. So yeah, that was not good back then.
It would be really
And
fun to go live, Tahir. But Tahir is really good at going live.
I love Tahir should come up more, but she works too much, so she can't always. Jeffro, you are right. Then they update something, and that would screw everything up. So I would get everything figured out and have it all set up. So all I had to do was like sit down and click something and start, and one of the softwares would update and suddenly nothing would work. And you would be like, now I have to figure out which software updated. Is it TikTok Studio? Is it OBS? Is it, regular TikTok? What happened here? And it's just such a.
I would have a full-on tantrum if I got everything technically just so, and then it changed for no reason. I would lose it. I would smash something. I would.
Oh my God, I
do out a window.
I do lose it.
I like to think that I'm more evolved than that, but let's be real. No, I would lose it.
I personally am not more evolved than that. You don't have enough biblical knowledge is not actually a good excuse, I hear, because you are going against people who've never ever opened their Bible.
They've
So if
never
you
read
opened
it.
your Bible, you have more biblical knowledge than they
That's
do.
the thing, is you don't have to read the book to be a Christian. So we don't have to know the book to tell them to stop being a Christian.
And one thing I did was I got
Hello
these
there.
cheap little tabs, right? Like, let me show you what they are. They're just these little tabs off Amazon. I'll post them in my Discord. So you just peel them off and you fold them like this over your page. And so they stick out, and then you could write whatever you want on it, right? And so they're very inexpensive. Then I went and got Justin's cheat sheet and I started tabbing these. And at first I was going to do like he does and be like, oh, this is all slavery or whatever. But then I decided just to put little notations to myself on the tabs that I know what they mean. I don't need to know the exact story. It doesn't matter, right? The horrendous thing happened. So for instance, let's go to this tab says Israel is the servant. And that's talking about when they try to tell me that Jesus is the suffering servant, right? And then I put notes inside my Bible when people are talking about it. And I think I've told you guys too, in the back of my Bible, I put even more notes. I have an entire section for Christ before Jesus. So that way, when people come up and say, hey, Pliny said blah, 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 I can go, no, Pliny in letter 96, book 10 only talks about the Christians and he has never heard of them. So you say, I don't have to memorize all this. I just use crib notes. And it's still more than they know, right?
You're
Because
gonna
they don't
have to
open that book at
do
all.
you're gonna have to do a copy, paste, and send it to all of us so we have yours. Oh man. That's a lot of work that you've done there, Crystal. It's taken you probably what, like over a year to get all of that together?
I would say that in the past year, I've started putting it together more organized because as you go live more, you start to understand what things would help you more when you are live, you know?
Yeah.
And so one thing I knew was that if I could flip to things faster, that would help me, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so I don't, by the way, I don't know where fucking shit is in the Bible. Okay. I do not have verses memorized like other people do. I use Google and things to look up stuff constantly because I'll know some that the Bible says something. I just won't know where it says that thing. You know what I mean? Hi, Peace. How are you?
Hello, how are you?
Doing well. Can I get your age for TikTok purposes?
56.
All right. And are you a believer in a God or gods or a higher being?
Absolutely.
I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
Okay. And who do you believe in? Which God or gods?
To be honest, I think there is only one God,
Okay. And what God is that?
and He is a universal God.
Does he have a name?
You can call Him whatever you want.
That's kind of a long name. Can you shorten it maybe?
Call Him
Is
God.
it just call him God? Where did you
Mm.
find out about this universal God?
He talked to me.
Um, do I know you? Are you Satan?
Exactly.
I thought so. How are you doing?
What?
I haven't talked to you in a long time.
I'm hanging around.
Slade, this is the Antichrist. This is Satan. He has been around the deconstruction scene for a minute now. A minute. I just happen to recognize his voice. He changes his name, now and then. But yeah, this is Satan the Antichrist.
Perfect. Nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you as well.
So, we haven't really talked before about this particular thing. So maybe this would be a good place to start. I I would really like to understand you better. And so, do you mind if I ask you questions to understand you and your beliefs?
Sure.
Okay. Do you really believe that you are Satan or an antichrist?
I do.
Why do you really think that? And do you think that makes you evil?
It makes me different.
And why do you think you are? When was the first time you felt like you were Satan or the Antichrist?
When God told me
How old were you? Like, was it a long time ago, or is
4
it
years back,
4 years ago? Not too long. Afterwards, we probably met on the app a year or two later, so not very long ago.
it was a
How
shock.
did God come to you and tell you this, and how did you know that it was God?
Me and God, we got into a relationship 25 years back when I was an atheist.
Were you weren't raised in any religion or anything?
I rejected every religion.
Were you raised in a religion though, whether you rejected it or not?
Only if I allow, anybody can raise me. If I
What?
don't allow it, nobody can raise me in anything.
No, but were you a child at one time?
I was always in control.
That's not my question. Were
I
you
was
brought
a
up in a
child.
religion
I
in
was a
your
child.
household?
I was a child who was always in control.
I'm
So are you
still not
saying,
getting the answer. I feel
Well,
like
I'm
you're
telling you, I was not
evading.
a typical child. I was not a normal child. How about
I
you?
wasn't either, but I still was brought up in a
I
religion.
was
Whether
born. I grew up as an adult, not as a child.
I did too, but I still was brought up in a religion.
See, if you are an adult, somebody comes and tells you something you don't agree, you just coolly tell them, "Get me the evidence, otherwise, get the fuck off my face."
You told your mom and dad to get the fuck
Yes,
off your face
exactly,
when
exactly.
you were like 3 when you did that?
I did it in such my own ways. Get the fuck off my face. I said it
So
nicely.
why?
I said it
Mm.
nicely.
So you were brought up in a religion and yet you didn't believe it. You felt that you were an atheist. And at one point you hear from God. About how old were you when you realized that you were talking to God and it really was your God?
Yes. Initially, I thought everybody around me were dumb. My parents included.
you thought everyone was dumb?
Yeah. How
Interesting.
could they? How could they believe in fairy tales, especially if it is not in their own best interest?
Mm-hmm.
How is
How could?
being Satan in your best interest?
Powerful. I'm very powerful because of Satan.
Can you knock Crystal's glasses off her face?
No. I have different kind of power.
I thought you were powerful.
What
Yeah,
kind of power do
I
you
have
have?
a certain kind of power. If I want to scare the shit out of her ass, I can do it.
You're gonna do shit to me, dude. That is so funny. But I do appreciate you coming back up. It's good to see you, Satan. I'm not gonna keep entertaining you right now because
Okay,
you're not
bye.
answering the questions, you're evading them. And I thought, it would be cool to understand what you really think. But if you're not going to answer simple questions like, were you raised in a religion? We can't have the conversation because anybody should be able to answer that question. I don't care if you are Satan or the Antichrist. Hi, how are you today?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
I hope you don't mind that I kicked Satan off the panel, but anyway, I know that you are a Christian, so can you share with us how you define God?
Yeah, he's a all-sovereign being with no beginning or end,
What does sovereign mean to you?
above all things, in control.
And how do you know this to be true?
Because it only makes sense for God to work that way.
That doesn't tell me how you know that to be true. That just tells me an opinion you have about it.
Yeah, God can't be limited.
No, but how did you find all of this? How do you know this to be true? You're just telling me more claims without telling me how you know that.
Oh, okay. So through various things, through personal testimony, through just extensive studies, archaeology, evidences showing that Jesus Christ is real. And once I put my faith in him, I did become sober. That's just one aspect to my
Congratulations.
conversion.
Hey,
I'm
good
glad
for
you're
you.
saved.
Thank you.
But what archaeological evidence proves Jesus was real?
So there's much. You can actually look at Jerome's letter to Paulinius. I think it's
Can I
letter
much look at
58.
that?
Might be letter 58, but
What does Jerome's letter to Phineas say about Jesus?
no, you can't just search that yet. It's specifically about King Hadrian of Rome was building the city of Capitolina, I think between the years of 132 and 135 AD. But what had happened is he also built over the tomb of Christ, and this was documented by Jerome. So they were worshiping.
I'm sorry. Which two? Which one?
They were
If
worshiping their false god Jupiter, and you can actually still see it today.
you can still see what?
The the god that the Romans were worshiping at that time.
That
They still
doesn't prove
have.
Jesus. If
Yeah.
you show me a god that people worshipped in Rome, that doesn't prove Jesus.
So this is strong evidence to show that Jesus Christ was existent.
It may show that Jesus was a human that walked the face of the earth, which I don't think it does. It's written too far after him.
Also, too,
there's nothing that proves it.
What's interesting as well is the Church of Megiddo. It's a 2nd century Roman mosaic church that a Roman soldier and 4 other ladies, I guess they're maids or such, it's actually 500 to 600 meters away from where the Roman legion camp was at. And in the mosaics, because they still, recovered the mosaics from today, they're actually in beautiful condition. It's dedicated to Christ, and they state the names of the fellow servants that were worshiping in that temple. So this was even, after the resurrection, and, Rome already overtook Jerusalem in 70 AD.
What does that have to do with proving Jesus? You're talking about things that happened well after Jesus passed. We know that there's evidence, in the 2nd and 3rd century about people believing in this Jesus.
Would you like to
None
talk
of it
about Old
proves
Testament?
Jesus. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Was I talking and you didn't hear, or you just thought that what I
You're
was
just
saying
saying
was
none of
not
this
important
proves
enough?
anything, so why am I here?
Again, why are you talking while I'm talking?
You're just discrediting anything I give you without doing valid research on your own time.
I am doing research, and
You told
nothing
her
you've
not to
said.
look it
So I
up.
think instead of
I
doing
know.
confirmation bias, you should do the research yourself and
I
test
think
me.
you shouldn't
I want you to
interrupt
test
people
me.
because I listened to you the
Test.
entire time you talked, and now you're being rude. Schley, can you keep him muted for me, please? There are Roman era mosaics dedicated to the Christ, but the type, date, and imagery matter a lot for how we interpret early Christology. We do not have first, second century Roman mosaics of Jesus as a fully divine, haloed God-man. What we do have are late Roman, early Byzantine mosaics in the 4th through 6th century, showing a developed Christ figure after Christianity becomes legal and then imperial.
So again, I told you to research the Church of Megiddo. It's
No, you didn't. You told me not to
Megiddo.
research when I first started to
You're
research
not good at the
things you were
gaslighting
saying.
thing.
I'm not trying to gaslight. It's literally what you did. I started to look it up. You told me not to when I started looking up things while you were making claims. I did it
Why would I tell
anyway,
you
and now
not
you
to
don't
search
like
it
it.
up? That makes
I
no
don't
sense. You're
know.
really bad at
This
manipulating.
part is boring, His. Can you get to it, please?
No, it's just when you actually
Get
debate
to
an
it.
intellect. The
You're
Church of
being
Megiddo
boring.
was either 294 AD or 234 AD. So this is
That would
going
be
into
the
the
3rd
3rd century.
century.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
Church of Megiddo.
let's discuss Sinai also and
No,
Horde.
no, you just went to Megiddo. Shut the fuck up. That's what you
Yeah,
guys
I'm
do.
saying
You're
one
like,
at a time.
hey, now I'm going to bring another one up while you look up the one I just told you to look up because you're going to find out
Let's
that
go
I'm
one at a
wrong about
time.
that. Stop talking when I'm talking. I'm not
Ma'am,
playing
you
with
don't
you
need to
today.
be angry.
Bye, bitch.
Now you're kicking.
Yep, I'm kicking you because I'm not putting up with men today who think that just because they fucking are men that they can talk over me. I'm not doing it. It's a new year. It's new me. And fuck you if you don't respect my boundaries. Okay. I'm trying to find out his stupid church of Megiddo. Built over the traditional birthplace of Jesus, because we don't know. We don't know. Original basilica commissioned by Constantine in 330 CE, rebuilt by Justinian in the 6th century, one of the oldest continuously used Christian churches. About the mosaics. So the church, that might be how old it is, but the mosaics are dated mostly 6th to 12th centuries. So he fucking never knows what he's talking about. He finds little pieces of shit and then he comes up on these lives and he acts like he's some fucking biblical scholar and then thinks that he could just brush over these things and that they make them real or something. It's not real, dude. You gave nothing. You gave zip. And just for shits and giggles, let's listen to one of Tahir's favorite songs in the whole wide world. Miss me, now you gotta kiss me. You're up my sentence, call it just a thought. That was you, bitch. Say you love strong women till you get caught. You want a queen who keeps it light and sweet. Bow down, little man, and kiss my feet. You're misinformed, misguided, mistaken. And that charm, boy, I know you're faking. Miss me with that misogyny. You ain't the man you think you miss me with that hypocrisy. Your fragile ego and royalty. I'm misbehaving and just being me. Miss me with that misogyny. You quote some podcast, call it intellect. But all I see is you begging for respect. You rate our bodies, dismiss our brains, describe our all. And again, miss me with your tone, miss me with your sigh, miss me with your sweetheart. Boy, bye, bye, bye. Miss me with that misogyny. Don't need your fake apology. I'm the star, bitch. You're just an extra baby. With that misogyny. Misogyny. You know, when I was growing up, Schley, I was told, like, and actually, I think if you Google it, you're going to find that this is something that they say that there have been studies done that men talk less than women. That's literally what they say.
Hmm.
I don't believe that to be true.
My experience just this morning is not that way.
No, I think that that's a fucking lie, okay? Because first of all, whenever I'm in a room where there are men and women, it is men dominating the conversation. Dominating the conversation. Okay. And then we have men who are constantly on these apps who are also talking. I know I'm on this app too, but let's face it, I think we would see more men on this apps than we do see women doing the talking. You know what I'm saying? More of that,
Mhm.
right? I don't know. I don't know how they and more men have microphones, have the ability to use a microphone. I mean, that's why we have the song "Stop Giving Men Microphones," right? Um, I don't know. I don't believe it. I don't believe that women talk more than I know, Jeffro. Watch them
They're
do
gonna
their
be
Costa.
super mad that you're calling that out.
I know.
I'm having a snack. Mm.
Oh, expect thought said maybe they talk less around each other because of the sexual tension. That could be. I didn't think about that, you know. But yeah, they still talk. Trust me. They cannot. Oh, two women are talking, having a conversation. How can I put myself in this conversation,
Mm.
this very moment?
That was for you, Tahir.
Hi, everybody over on the YouTube. So we still got a couple people watching over there.
Okay,
Good to see you
YouTube.
this morning. If you are over on the YouTubes and you want to join the conversation, come over here to the Tiki Talkies because I don't have a way for you to call in yet. However, you guys, every time you donate, you're helping me upgrade my equipment. Unfortunately, I think I have to upgrade my phone now, so I think I have to upgrade this gold to like 1500 or something. Because I saved my dog on New Year's. George is old. He's an old silky terrier, and
He
he
made a decision,
he is
right?
blind, and we are trying to give him some new food right now, because he's gotten a lot hungrier lately. Like he doesn't seem full after his two meals. So we're like going to add some like kibbles to his midday like lunch type of meal for him. And so he had a lot of problems with his digestion, getting used to the new food. So New Year's Eve in the middle of the night, he was like, I need to go out. And I'm like, okay, dude, I'll let you out. But it was raining really hard outside. Well, it wasn't really hard at that moment, but it was raining. It was really cold and it was raining. And it had been raining for a couple of days already. So it was pretty cold outside, very wet. And if you go out in the rain, he won't walk out unless you go out in the rain. Okay, so I walked out into the rain. He followed me, and then usually he'll go off and go to the bathroom, and that's what he did. He went off, so I walked back inside the house and closed the sliding glass door, and I could still watch and wait for him. And I'm looking at my phone, and all of a sudden I looked up from my phone and I see my pool water moving, and I'm like, what? And I looked over, and he had fallen in the pool, and the pool water was so full that even if he had made it over to the step, which I don't know that he ever got all the way over there. I don't remember. I was panicked. He wouldn't have been able to reach it anyway. He just got little short legs, and the water was too deep with the rainwater filling it up because the pool was like almost overflowing.
Poor
So
baby.
I just yelled for Doug, who was asleep in bed with his CPAP machine and everything. And he's like, what? And I go, ah, like he fell in the pool. And because I'm so afraid, like hypothermia on a little dog. Okay. Like that's a real fucking thing. Like it's not just about drowning. He knows how to swim and I'm right here. I probably can get him out. Am I going to get him out on time where he doesn't get sick, where he doesn't, something else, So I like remember just like stepping out. I remember even thinking, you need to do something with this, but my brain didn't realize what this was. And it took this and stuck this in my pocket. And this was my phone. And I threw my headphones off and I took my slippers off or whatever. And then I jumped in the pool. And then I like herded him to the side, and Doug reached in and grabbed him by his scruff and pulled him out and stuff. But unfortunately, my phone was in my fucking pocket. It dried. It seemed to be working okay until I went live today, and now I realize I may have fucked up something in it. Can you give a little on your background? Your lives keep popping up. How do you define God? Well, that is the thing. I am what's called an ig-theist with an I. I don't think we can define God. I don't think anybody agrees on what a definition of God is. I have people who come up on my live and tell me that, God is Jesus, and other people who come up and tell me God is Allah, and other people come up and tell me that God is every single thing in the universe, including dog shit on the bottom of my slipper, and that's I literally do have dog shit on the bottom of my slipper. They were being washed off, and Doug was drying them for me. So I feel like if we as humans can't even come to any kind of agreement as to what or who God is, I don't really feel like there's any reason to believe in any of them, because we don't even agree what it is. Is a God omniscient? Is a God all loving? Is a God omnibenevolent? Can a God talk better than I just did? I don't know. He might also stumble on words like I do. But what I know is I don't think God is this. I think this is all made up. And I think it was made up by a bunch of men, bunch of Bronze Age goat herders who really didn't like women very much. And so I don't really think this is God, not this story anyway. So I just want to know how you define God. Who is your God? What's he like? How do you know he's God? Where did you find him? So if you want to come up, guest box is open. Come up and tell me how you define God. Send you an invite unlock, and maybe you can tell us a little bit about your God. I remember the first time I heard what an ig-theist was, and then how I got a little confirmation. I don't know if you guys remember Lori. There was a woman named Lori from like the UK or something, and she used to go live, and then I think she had some problems, and I don't know what happened, but she ended up blocking a bunch of people, and I really haven't seen her for a long time, so I don't know what happened. But Lori was the first person. She said, or she might have even had a backdrop that said she was an ig-theist. So I looked it up, and I was like, oh, yeah, I think that's what I think now. I'm starting to realize I don't think we really have a clear definition. And then I heard uh, Sebastian Cole Pinkbeard talk about it, and he was like, yeah, that's the way I think too. And then there's Jeffro, and Jeffro is a wig theist. He believes that God
I
has
love that.
fabulous hair, and that's all he fucking cares about. Okay, and that is a really good way to look at God. God with just like fabulous hair.
So, atheist, I guess like the more I think about it, the more I align with that. But, it's funny how everybody demands these labels, right? And I was like, I don't know anybody in any labels. And then I was like, well, I guess I'm agnostic. That's how it started, right? That's
Right.
how you knew I was deconstructing, because I was like, I'm not going to say, I'm never going to be like an atheist. I could never. But I eventually was like, I guess I'm agnostic. If I had to put a label on it, I guess I'm agnostic. And then and then now I'm like, yeah, I'm an atheist. It's just easier because people want to know what you are for some reason. Right. And they don't know what an atheist is. They barely understand agnostic or atheist.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you. And I think that saying you're an atheist is one of the last parts of deconstructing. And in case you all are wondering, I am an atheist. An ig-theist is an atheist. Okay. It's just a specific type of atheist, one that just doesn't find that we can define God. But I think that saying you're an atheist is really hard because atheists are demonized so much by the church, right? And so we are taught so many wrong, just totally misinformed things about what an atheist is. Like, we will hear people come up here all the time. Oh, so you worship yourself? No, that's not an atheist. So you worship Satan? Again, not an atheist.
Although you can worship me. I'm just saying.
Yeah, absolutely. I like really would like that if people would. Um, And yeah, and being an agnostic atheist, that, and I will tell you something really funny. There is a guy who is a regular in many chat rooms. Is not in mine because I blocked him a while ago. He is an atheist. And I think it was Daniel's chat of all chats. It was somebody like really nice, right? Where we're all acting nice to each other in chat, not just with the non-believers, but with everybody. Everybody's just being nice, right? So in this chat, and everybody's just being nice. And somebody said they were an agnostic atheist. And this atheist just went the fuck off on them and would not fucking leave them alone. They would just berating this person. They were like, oh, so you're just as bad as a Christian and everything. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, why are you going for this person? And he just was like, you're just as bad as a Christian. You're just wishy-washy, da 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 da. And in this atheist mind, if you are agnostic, it's like you have one foot still in the door. He did not understand that that's not what agnostic means. He was like, it's like he felt like you're just trying to hold on a little bit or something. I don't know how to describe it. But we tried over and over again to explain to him agnostic just is a modifier for the word atheist, and it means that you don't have all the knowledge, right? I cannot say for certain there is zero gods because I literally have never studied all the gods. There are thousands. It would take me forever, right? So to say with 100% certainty that there are no gods would be vain at best. It would be arrogant. It would be ridiculous, right? Some gods literally have no power. So how, like, some gods are considered just like human or whatever. So how could I prove that that never existed? That doesn't make sense, right? So agnostic just means without knowledge. Atheist means lack of belief in God. So I lack belief in God, but I do not have the knowledge to say definitively there is no gods. So why any atheist would just go fucking like wilding out in the chat because somebody said they were agnostic was just crazy to me. So that takes all kinds, I guess.
Some people are very attached to their containers.
Yeah, they really are. Yeah, for sure. Anyway, I see that guy still in everybody's chat, and I just I don't do anything or something because otherwise this guy is actually seems pretty cool because like he's in everybody's chat. But that one day I was just like, you gotta be kidding me. What are you losing your shit for? Like, what are you talking about? It was just crazy. Thank you, John. I hope I did that justice for you guys. Who was it? I'm not going to tell you guys who it was because what if you guys like this person? I'm just saying, after that, I personally blocked them. I did not block them as a mod. I don't block a lot of people as mods. People think that I'm like this, like really mean mod. They really do. I get this about me a lot, that I'm some kind of dictator or something. In the fucking reality of it all, the only reason you would ever get blocked from me on any live is if you're a racist, bigot, homophobe, or a transphobe, and you say that shit. You can be that, just don't say anything in the chat. If you do one of those, then yeah, that's gonna get you blocked, you know. But other than that, you know, you doing your caps, I might tell you not to use caps, spam. I'm gonna maybe mute you for a little bit if you spam. I'm not a block heavy person. I just don't do it.
Same. Same. I actually find it really fun at this point. I think I've been conditioned to accept the spamming, you know? So it's
Yeah,
really funny when they think that's effective. They're just like, Isaiah such and such verse, Isaiah such and such verse, like just over and over, like that's gonna do anything. I'm like, okay, go for
right.
it.
And actually, I'm not going to say anything to you if you only spam like once or twice. I'm going to ignore it. If you repeatedly keep spamming it, then I'm going to say something, because the chat is going to yell at me if I don't, right? They're going to go, mods, you know. Um, Dark Knight, hi, welcome in. I just brought you up because I thought, you know what? You never come up on my panel, but I come up on yours.
Oh, hello.
Having me. How's it going?
All right, how are you?
I'm fine. You know, just kind of have my feet kicked up and I'm taking a little bit of a break.
Nice.
Taking time to really get in the dojo so I can, you know, get myself into shape more specifically for these discussions. So
Awesome.
glad to have you. Or I'm sorry. I'm glad to be here.
Good.
You know what I'm
I'm
saying? I'm
glad
so
to
used
hear
to you
too.
being on my panel, right?
I
Okay.
know.
This is the perfect place to relax and kick your feet up, I will say.
Perfect.
Slay, can I tell you about the first time I ever went on Dark Knight's panel? Because it is the funniest thing to me. This is like his
Do
intra
it.
fucking duction to me. So he has a panel going, and he's got Mac Lester and Jenna May and some asshole Christian. I don't even remember who it was, to be honest with you. It's probably somebody we've all seen around, but I don't remember who it was. And the Christian at some point has already pissed off Zena May and Mac Lester and Dark Knight, and they're like, we're all fucking done with him. Okay, we're done. Like, this guy's just an idiot. And remember, so Dark Knight just kind of meeting me for and he goes, Crystal, do you want to talk to him? I'm like, okay, I guess, or whatever. And I don't remember very much about, like, just let's just admit, I think I went on some kind of blackout rage, and I just lost my shit on the guy. And that was our first meeting. I was like, oh, hey, I'm not always like that, but maybe I am always like that. I don't know. Maybe
It sounds magical. I would expect nothing less.
I Yeah. Mac has always heard me talk like that. Because Mac and I became friends on African Atheist Live, and I don't know if you all ever watched that live, but that's just like Jerry Springer type entertainment right there, right? People throwing chairs and stuff on African Atheist Live. That's actually how I met Joel too. Joel and I used to do panels together. We used to do a lot of panels together.
You know what's kind of sad is I don't remember how I was introduced to Joel or Mezzo. I think I met Joel first and then Mezzo, but I don't remember.
Okay, I have a really funny Joel story for you guys. This is back in the day. Okay, so do that little, dream thing where we go back.
Once upon a time. We need the soundboard.
Okay, so Joel and I had done some panels together. We're starting to like know each other in chats and stuff, and say hi to each other and this, that, like start to, see each other and be like, hey, there's my friend Joel. Hey, Crystal, what's up? Right. And we are both watching Thinker this one night. And and Thinker knows, well, like she knows me as somebody who's in her chat a lot. I don't know that I've ever been up there yet or anything like that, but she knows of me at this point. Okay. But and she's just like kind of found out who Joel is in the deconstruction space, but I don't think she really knows him or anything yet either. And Joel and I are joking around back and forth in chat about whatever's going up on stage, right? And we're just making little sarcastic jokes back and forth, nothing serious. At one point, one of his mods, and I'm not going to say who either, but I do remember, reprimands Joel. Okay, she reprimands Joel and for his joke, and then Joel is like nervously trying to explain, like, no, dude, I was joking because of blah, 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 or whatever. And then I am trying to tell that mod, hey, wait, like, Joel's like a friendly, or whatever. But meanwhile, Thinker brings up a guest whose name is Crystal. And she says something like, so are you Joel's friend? And the woman's like, what? And it dawned on me that she thought she was me, Crystal. And like, she goes, no, I see you chatting to Joel in the comments or whatever. And she's like, what? And she like, no, what Thinker's talking about? And I'm like, uh-oh. And I told Joel, like in the comments, I think I'm in trouble by Thinker and I'm not even up on the stage or whatever. And Joel's laughing. So Joel's getting in trouble from a mod in chat for doing nothing. And I'm getting in trouble from Thinker on the panel and I'm not up there. So that was like one of our first evenings of hanging out and chat together, me and Joel. We were both getting in trouble for nothing.
Well, you know, good old
Yeah,
memories.
we probably deserved it, to be honest. But yeah, it was fun.
I'm trying to remember how I defined God. Ugh. It's really hard sometimes to remember what it was like when you were a Christian when you've been out for a while. I don't think I had like an actual definition. I think I just was like, oh, Jesus is everything.
I think that for me, I pictured, I don't know, like, I think that in reality, if we think for ourselves, our God is those things that we find that humans lack for us, right? So we see the failure in how humans do not love unconditionally. So we try to tell us this God loves unconditionally, right? I mean, I know the Bible says something different, but that's not the way we define it when we're a Christian, right? When we're a Christian, we say, no, it's unconditional. And he loves me just the way I am, even though that's not what this says, right? We believe that he takes me as I am. We say those things, right? So to me, that's what I thought. I thought God God would make up for all the failures that humans had. He would be the one who didn't let me down. He would be the one who didn't interrupt me, Esau, while I was in the middle of pouring my heart out. God would never interrupt me while I was doing.
He was never there, and you were just talking
I
to
know.
yourself.
I know. It's
You
true.
know, the crazy thing is just like from my personal experience growing up as someone who doesn't have like a father figure. When I was a Christian, I was always told like God is the greatest father figure you could have for yourself,
Yes.
right? He's like the perfect role model. He's the person you want to, be like. And I thought that was great. And then I found the Bible verses that talk about, the stuff we always get into. And then I'm like, hey, how is he such a great father figure? How is he a role model? Like, am I
Right?
supposed to go around and like unleash bears on kids and, you know, do all those wonderful things? And obviously, I ended up not doing that. But it is interesting to know that there are other people out there who have that similar understanding, right? They think, they didn't have an earthly father, but this God is the greatest example of a father they could ever have. And I don't know. That's the way that I would define God, at least for me, whenever I was a believer.
I've invited Elle to come up. Elle says in chat, you cannot define God. God is far beyond our understanding. Your pride is asking the question. But I beg to differ. In Jeremiah 9:23-24, it says, do not let the wise boast in their wisdom, but let those who boast boast in this, that they understand and know me, that I am the Lord. So according to the Bible, I can know God, and asking how to define God, there's nothing wrong with me asking that. You should be able to find it. You should be able to use your Bible, sir or madam, and define your God, because it says you can know him right there in Jeremiah.
It's like what you said in your Auntie sermon. It was something about submitting and enduring and then like excusing. I totally agree with Dark about, I mean, my family was like, everybody has their trauma, right? I won't get into all of that, but you know, I was abused, and the people who were abusive towards me justified it using the Bible. So then, like, as a teenager, it was the cognitive dissonance of, well, I'm escaping to church because it's better than home, and I feel accepted, and I feel this love and this, you know, like unconditional love that I'm not getting at home. But I don't know. I also just like ignored. I never had those moments of like, oh, wow, this story doesn't make sense. What do you mean a man survived the belly of a whale? Like,
Right?
to me, I was just like, yeah, sure. Donkeys can talk. Yes, God
Exactly.
can do anything. For me, it was more
Exactly.
like what you said earlier. Like, when I was in hair school, I had my very first interactions with people in the LGBTQ, and a friend that was trans. And I just, as the more I got to know those people, I was just like, oh my gosh, you're so lovely. And I just loved them. But I was a Christian. So I was like, I can't justify, like, it was always breaking my brain that like in eternity, they wouldn't be able to spend eternity with me. And they're just like, oftentimes I was like, they're better people than I am, you know?
I agree. I agree. And it's so much cognitive dissonance. You know what I mean? Like, it just hurts. It hurts us in so many ways. See how that cognitive dissonance really hurt you in ways you probably didn't realize at the time, because you could have had connection and relationship with people that you were literally pushing away because of this stupid fucking belief. I'm gonna look up a verse really quick. I always forget what it is. But Elle says, there's no benefit explaining it to you who believe you know all, you are your own God. That's a cop out and a cope, and your God even thinks so. If you think that you don't have to talk to people because you think that anything you say cannot reach us, then as a Christian, you are being totally sacrilegious and narcissistic, because you think that it is in your power. But God tells you that it will be what he speaks through you. It won't be your power. So if you really believed in this God, you wouldn't be afraid to come up here. You would think, fuck that shit. I've got the power of the Almighty, and whatever I say coming out of me will work like magic on these guys, because God is going to speak through me. It won't be my power. But let me remind you that 1 Peter 3:15 says, but in your heart, sanctify Christ as Lord. Always be ready to make your defense to anyone who demands from you an accounting for the hope that is in you, yet do it with gentleness and reverence. Well, you're doing it with arrogance and conceit, sir, or ma'am, whatever. God is our puppet master of our experience as chess. You are good at the game or not. Maybe. I'll come up if you don't crash out on me. I don't play by your rules, Redeem. I'll do whatever the fuck I want. If you need little rules before you come up, don't come up. Don't want you to. If you're an asshole, if you're a bigot, if you're a racist, a misogynist, any of those things, I will crash out on you. So, Al, I just proved my point that you're a chicken, that you think that this is all in your power, but you also think that God is in control. You're just full of shit, Al. You're too afraid to come up because you know that I already know more about this Bible than you do. I know more about your God than you do, and you know darn well that you couldn't stand up here for 60 seconds against me defending your God, and that scares you, and that's why you're still in the comments. I got some friendlies coming up, and since it's the end of
Did
the
you see
show,
CBJ raid? I just
no,
wanted to make sure you
CBJ
saw.
Raid, welcome in.
Oh, hi, Tahir.
Hi guys, good to see you and be heard by you. So this is a little off topic, but I've been kind of mulling over, like hanging out in Sarah's lives the past couple of days. You have these people that come up and they say, well, we're not all bad, or some of us are good. Like, I just want to know, like, and I know, for my reason what I would respond, but I just would kind of like to hear you guys, like, how would you address somebody saying something like that?
That not all Christians are bad?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to tell you the same thing I told JTP, who is a Christian friendly, and he actually knows I say this. I've said this to his face. I did get in trouble one time on Born Again Atheist Discord because I kind of said this stuff about JTP, and they were like, "Oh, I thought JTP was one of the cool ones. Why are you being mean?" I'm not mean. I'm being honest, and if my honesty feels like it's mean, then that's between me and JTP, right? Not between a third person who thinks I'm being mean to him. I believe wholeheartedly, and my next song is about this. It's called A Seat at the Table, okay? If you sit with Nazis, you're a Nazi. I'm going to say that again. If you sit with Nazis, you are a Nazi. So you can come up and tell me you're the special kind of Christian, but once you wear that Christian badge, you are upholding every single thing that perpetuates a supremacy culture that marginalizes women, that does not give a fuck about children, that has created a world where racism is uh, it, it's overwhelming. Okay, you are a part of the system that suppresses and marginalizes people because you decide to wear that badge. That's how I feel.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
I love it that Redeemer's like, host you lie, God loves women and children. No, he doesn't. There's no evidence for that. You guys, it is 1:00, and just so you know, it is actually time for me to sign off unless we meet the gift goal. So here's what I'm gonna do. We need I think I just need, I don't know, 11 more of these. If you can't gift, that's okay. Only gift if you can. And we'll stay live for another hour. If not, that's okay too. I'm gonna play a song for you guys right now because I know that the Christians in chat really love my music, and it's like it really helps them worship their Lord. So we're going to play a song for them. This is for all of my ladies out there. You guys, here is Ex Parte. I hope I'm not late to the party. I've got something to say. And I want every gentleman here to have a front row seat for this ex-party. Ex-party for the ladies. One side talks, one side stays mute. You called your covenant in marble, but forgot the feet that swept the pew. Before the sons that build these seas. And you signed the pact without the words.
rewriting history. They needed a scapegoat, they signed the brief. From that moment on, sin's name was Eve. Leave two men alone, it's always the same. If they can't find a woman, they'll make one to blame. This is my ex-party. Not one woman, please. You created the lemon and try to frame me. You call it
Divine when the terms were deceit.
Hell yeah. Oh.
No woman was hurt.
Kind of silence, her face
Her face
secured.
secured.
The law can't bind what we didn't conceive. May the record show no woman signed.
Because the truth is, his name is man. His name is man. In the land of Egypt, we lit the flame. Our mother's prayers, our songs unashamed. We worship the heavens, the stars, the seas. We knew the truth before their decrees. Abandoning women, blind leading the blind. We bore the children, we kept the fire. They stood on our backs as they climbed higher. Once our rituals were pure, hands in the earth, spirit sure. With ashen rays, they gave us no choice. But no God, no man can silence the war. May it please the court to hear my battle cry. We denounce the God, we denounce the lies. The plans were theirs, the scrolls they made. It is man's guilt and man that needs saved.
Rise up now, we hold the power. It's time they bow. Every woman today stands free. If sin is on, man holds the deed. As defined, may the record show no woman signed.
Because the truth is, his name is man. His name is man. Yes, the truth is, his name is man. His name is man. Yes, the truth is,
His name is man.
his name is man.
Christina Carroll. I haven't seen
Oh my
her forever.
gosh, everybody be cool. Be
Be
cool. Be
cool, be
cool.
cool, be cool. Shh, shh. I look at it.
Christina, I love you.
I did too.
I'm a big
Christina,
fan of
thank
your
you.
work. All of your work, Christina.
Me
Also, Ty
too.
here with the vocals. Hello.
Oh yeah.
I can't help myself. I freaking love that song.
Thank you, Christina Carroll. You guys, we're going live for another hour. Thank you, Christina Carroll. She just made it rain. Thank you so
Oh.
much. I really appreciate it. And thank you to all my gifters. Christina Carroll, Ashera, Expect Thought, Interstellar, Tahir, Stella and Nova, Aaron, Queen Qualia, Fen, Mia Dudette, and Girls Gone Godless for helping us reach that goal so we could stay an extra hour today and hang out with you for a little bit longer. Shadow, how are you?
So good. Let me step outside. Give me one moment.
Okay. Okay.
Ah,
You guys, if you aren't following Christina Carroll, do it. She goes live. She is talking a lot about issues within the Black community. She also does get ready with me's, and her makeup is fucking flawless every fucking day. Okay, like she's amazing, and she also has music out. You can find her music sometimes. You can find like a podcast. I don't know if she's doing the podcast anymore, but her older episodes are still great. All right. So make sure you follow her. Anyway, I'm sorry, Shadow. Just wanted to plug her real quick.
My break's coming up. I'm gonna jump back down.
on the panel.
Okay, bye, Tahir.
Bye.
I'm at work. So I only have
All right, take care.
oh later. Okay. But yeah. So just for those that don't know, Dark Knight is a soldier. Like he is on like the front lines. He will go into the lives of the believers, and I'm glad that he has his like live status on or something. I'll check, who's live. I'll be like, ooh, Dark Knight's gonna cook right now, and so I'll try to like catch the tail end of the conversation sometimes. So I'm like, he's pounding the pavement out here. He's like, he's the soldier. He's a soldier.
It's true. He really is.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate
But yeah,
that.
yeah. Of course. No, it's another good day. I don't know. I'm just at work, so I'm just gonna say a quick hello and then drop. But
Well,
thanks for
thank
having me,
you for
Crystal.
being here, Shadow. I really appreciate you. And yes, Dark Knight is amazing, and he goes out there. He is on the front lines. I won't do that. I am not. I don't go to Christian lives, but if I see one of you guys on, I do pop in. I make sure. Bird. I make
Brad!
sure. I make sure that I, try to send a few hearts and stuff. I want the host to know that I came for them and not for the host.
I used to do
So,
that. I used to go into Christian lives and try to make friends, and they're so mean. They didn't like me.
they
I
are
was
very.
successful a few times, but then I had some disturbing DMs, so I quit doing that.
Oh wow, yeah. By the way, if you guys want to see my DMs from Christians, when I can, I post those in my Discord under my fan mail, and Trust but Verify is doing that on his Discord too now. So, by the way, if you read our fan mail, it's not actual fans, okay? Like that's the joke, okay? So because one time person said, these people don't seem to like you. This doesn't. I'm like, oh, yeah, they don't like me. They're not my real fans, okay? But they're funny to read. They're so fucking funny.
Can you give us like a preview? Maybe something
Oh,
kind of
I could.
wild.
My favorite one is this one. I will read it to you. It is my favorite one. Oh my
This
god.
should be a background. Like, can you help us understand why your brother in Christ would say this?
Okay, let me find it. It's kind of older. If I can't find it, I'll just tell you what he did because he is the funniest one yet. It was like a late night thing. There's so many of them. There's just so many. They really hate me.
I was told once while you're looking, I was told once that I am harem. It was just a DM. You are
All
harem.
right. I can't
Period.
find the exact one, so I'll just tell you what he did. Okay, so some guy, left me some fan mail. I don't remember what he says, but like, of course, he's insulting me or whatever, right? So he's like really mad. And then around 1 a.m. in the morning, he comes back and he goes, you know, you're like a grandma, and I would be really upset if somebody talked to my grandma like that. So I'm sorry. And he full on apologizes. And all I
Wow.
could think of is, you know what happened? He got that Christian guilt, right?
Yeah.
And he was like, oh no, I have to repent or I'm going to go to hell. So I should go apologize to her because I was mean or whatever.
The
like,
Um,
conviction.
it's just strange to think that there's a Christian that has you on their mind around 12 o'clock at night, you know? Like, I don't know, I feel kind of weird about that.
that is weird. It is really weird. And I like it when they make videos on me too, because I will tell you right now, make all of the content you want. I will never watch any content that you make about me. And they want me to come watch it so bad and fight with them about it. But what I do instead is I let my people know this person made a video about me, and then they go and argue for me. I don't have to do any of it, and I never have to watch the video about myself. So.
Well, they're giving you that publicity, you know? The
Yes.
more they post you, the more people get to know who you are. And man, they're doing the free promo work.
Hey,
You
I know.
don't got
I
to
felt
spend a
like I
dime.
arrived. I was like,
Yeah.
fuck yeah, I arrived. They're making content about me now. What? That's cool. Do you guys want to talk to Redeemed? Redeemed is in the comments. He might come up. Have you
Somebody
guys
said
ever
that
talked to him?
somebody said that they don't have anything to offer, so I don't
That
know.
might be true.
But
I
we can
can't
see.
invite him though, so I guess he won't be coming up unless he requests because I can't invite him. Hello, Resurrected Skeptic. Welcome in everybody. Good to see you guys. It is the first week of January here, and we're hanging out. We're trying to figure out how people define God. I think that every Christian defines even their God differently than another Christian. And I'll be live for about 45 more minutes. So if you are a believer of a God or gods or a higher power and you want to come up and talk to us about how you define God, come on up. If you are an ex-believer and you want to talk about how you used to define God, and what you think now, you can come up and talk to us about that too. That's cool. I thought that God was my best friend. I thought I thought that narrator's voice in my head was him. I didn't know that everybody didn't have that ongoing dialogue. So that was news to me. You know what I mean? We're going to start with Cyclic. Redeemed, I see you. Also, Cyclic was in there. Cyclic, can I get your age for TikTok purposes?
Yeah, I'm 60. How are you?
Okay, I'm doing well. Are you a believer of a god or gods or a higher power?
Yes, but only in philosophy and humanities, not in the natural sciences. It's just a myth.
Oh, okay. So how do you define it?
How do I define God?
Mhm.
Oh, in philosophy, God is a concept created by men of an invisible deity that is typically omnipotent, omnibenevolent, etc., and that can do anything he wants, even if it breaks the rules and laws of logic. But in natural sciences, God is just a man-made concept used to justify slavery, misogyny, theft, and paganism under the guise of monotheism.
I feel like I know your voice. Do I know you from a different name?
Yeah, I had different names: Geeky Gangster,
I
Truth
knew it.
Seeker.
Okay, Truth Seeker. That's who I was like, dang it, I know this voice.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I remember Truth Seeker. Good to see you. I'm gonna go ahead and bring up Redeemed then because I think
Yeah,
that you will add to the conversation as well with Redeemed.
cool.
I'm gonna let you guys start the conversation with Redeemed while I take a real quick break. Redeemed, welcome to the panel. Schley, would you like to go ahead and start with Redeemed?
Sure. What's your name? What's your religion? How do I do this? What? What's your age and religion?
Yeah, exactly.
Religion?
Hey, thank you for letting me up. I'm Christian. I believe the Bible. I'm over 18. What do y'all believe?
Okay. And how do you define God?
Um, how I define him, he's perfect. He's holy. He's almighty, all powerful. He's loving. There's many ways to define him.
I think you're describing me, but anyway.
I was gonna say I'm pretty perfect.
You're almighty?
Yes, I am. Almighty, every omni you can think of. Hey, Redeem, I have a question for you. You believe in God. Do you know about the concept of etymology?
Explain it to me.
Okay, so that means you don't or you do?
No.
Okay, etymology is the root of a word. What word or concept does a word come from? So now that you kind of know that, do you know what the word God is based on etymologically?
I don't. But
Okay.
but my God's name is Jehovah.
Okay.
That is Yahweh. That's his
Oh,
name that he
good.
goes by.
I'm glad you mentioned that. You switched, pivoted, but let me tell you the etymology of God. I'll be brief because I know the other
Please.
person wants to also teach. God is Gudan. Do you have a search engine handy? You could type it in. And you would have never
I
heard this
I
before.
don't.
Okay, well, I'll just tell you, you could look it up later. Gudan, also Gott, G-O-T-T, and that was from Proto-Germanic culture. Another word that is Proto-Germanic is Lord, L-O-R-D, and I'll add one more, lady. Now, regarding Jehovah, can you tell us about Yahweh, what region he comes from? The
Well, he's
name.
eternal.
Yeah, but
So
okay, the name, the noun. Let's simplify it. Where does that noun come from? YHWH, also known as the tetragrammaton in Greek.
correct. Yeah, I haven't done much study into that.
Okay,
I
I'll tell
couldn't
you
I
that
couldn't.
also. Yeah, that's why you're here, to let atheists teach you so that you can maybe break free one day. Yahweh was a Canaanite deity. Do you know where the land of Canaan was?
Where was it?
No, I'm asking you.
Um, I couldn't pinpoint it on a map, but
Okay,
it was over near the Israel Egypt area.
let me help you out. Israel, Jordan, what we call Palestine, and Syria. Now, regarding Yahweh, do you think Yahweh only came from Canaan, or was he from somewhere else? The name now, not the guy that floats in the sky.
I'm sorry.
What's your question? Let me get a Bible real quick. Well, you
No, it
can
won't be
tell
in
me
your
a question.
Bible though. That's one source. You won't be able to find this in your Bible.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you the etymology of the
No, I'm
word
beyond etymology.
Yahweh.
No, that's not etymology. I'm talking about the name itself that we know as YHWH didn't start in the land of Canaan. It came from outside of Canaan and then entered Canaan and then entered your lexicon through your conditioning in probably one of the thousands of Christian denominations. One final question for you. The letter J, Jesus, Jehovah, Jah, Jerusalem. Do you know what part of the world that was made in and added to the alphabet?
I'm probably wrong in this, but maybe Latin.
No, Latin
German.
isn't a part of the world, though. The Latins were taught by the Etruscans, but that's another subject. It was made in Italy.
Oh, I thought
By
it was Germany. Oh, I did
No,
not
it
know
was
that.
Italy.
Okay.
You're not bad. Italy, 500 and how many years ago? I won't even ask you. 26. So your Jesus, Jerusalem, Joshua, Jezebel, James, the son of whoever, are all erroneous, not just yours, all Christians. So, if you do more research, because I have a lot of other info and so do the other guests here, what you'll find is that we can teach. We don't preach, we teach. And one day I'm going to do a song called Teach, Don't Preach. Thanks for listening.
Awesome.
Where are you going? Hey,
Awesome.
where are you going though? Where are you going? We're not done.
You can go ahead and
You're
talk.
not
We're
done?
we're all still here. We can
No, I
talk.
wasn't leaving. I just
So
muted for
so
other people to talk.
cyclic. I understand that Jesus is a modern day name for the man that was crucified on the cross. It's more correctly said as Yeshua with letter Y. Whether I call him Jesus or Yeshua, I'm still worshiping and praising and glorifying the God that came down into earth in the form of a man and died on the cross for my sins. Whether his name is Jesus or Yeshua,
I'm not denying that you continue to remain incalcitrant in the face of wisdom. That is clear. I also worship Spider-Man. Rest in peace, Stan Lee. So we're on the same page. The only problem is I know Spider-Man is a fantasy. Religion is the only subject where a person can be a scholar, professor, teach another person, and the other person who's the student with the crayon will raise their hand and say, well, I still believe 1 + 1 = 5 in the decimal system. So I'll leave you now to someone else who would like to experiment to see if they can get into your central nervous system with some wisdom.
okay.
You have a young man that I attempted to give some doses of historiography of religion, but there's some resistance in his central nervous system. So you may have sharper scalpels than I do. Mine seem to be dull.
Where are you from? I like your accent. It doesn't sound American. What is it like? Where's it from?
Well, I am American, but I was schooled in various regions, so my accent and enunciation are slightly different. but it's a top secret location because I'm a top secret guy.
Well,
If I tell
cyclic.
you, if I tell you, you'll have to go swimming with the fishies. So,
Yeah, you don't have to tell me. But cyclic. So I appreciate you teaching me this, but according to the Bible, I'm in the hand of God, and nothing will ever pluck me away.
I think
So
I understand. So you're in the hand of a pagan polytheistic god. When children were being sacrificed, you were taught that. You were taught the letter J is also a new creation, and you were taught that you didn't know where the land of Canaan was, but still you're in the land of what you call, you know what a circular reference is?
what is it?
When you say that, that's a slick way to the person to answer, and then you could say, I knew. Do you know what it is?
It sounds to me, I don't know, but it sounds to me like someone has told me before, like one of those outlets that you plug into itself.
Well, you're almost on track. You're thinking of a circuit, but this is a circular reference. In other words, if I say, I read a book that says I am the greatest human in the world and I can have everyone's pizza, and you say, I don't believe you, give me your source. And I say, well, it's a book I wrote, or it's a book X that my wife wrote. Circular references are not really credible in the world of intellectual discussion, but they work well in fantasy and fables. So very often I tell people that are talking the way my mom and you are talking that we're gossiping. And when I get to that point, I usually pull back because I'm 60. I don't have much more time to gossip. I could be unalive at any point. So my time is like, nope, no time for gossiping. But thank you. It's been a really good surgery for me. Unfortunately, I don't think your insurance is going to cover the rest of the surgery. So I'm going to have to hand you off and I'm going to retire.
Hi.
Cyclic,
Quick
you always say that
question.
and then you stick around.
Redeemed,
Dark
real
Knight
quick
gonna talk.
before I just have a question for Crystal. So this is my first time in here doing this specific topic. How do you define God?
Mhm.
So how does the conversation typically go when we bring up a believer and you ask them, how do you define God?
They'll
And then what does the
often
conversation typically
give
lead
me
to?
they'll give me characteristics of God that do not match the biblical, you know, characteristics of God. They'll
Sure.
say something like, "Oh, well, God is all knowing," and then, like earlier, I tried to point out that he's
Fair
not.
enough.
And then they crash out usually, or I do because they'll say
Okay.
something.
Yeah.
So basically,
Okay. Well,
what Redeemed already did.
yeah, I was about to say he did that earlier. He did list a few things, and so maybe we can kind of get into that. Redeem, do you want
Okay.
to repeat yourself? You named a few ways you define God. Maybe you could start over.
Yeah, and I do want to thank the host for letting me up here and letting me talk to other guests. And I would love to talk to you as well. I really do appreciate you letting me up.
Well, no problem. So, what were some of the characteristics that you said while I was away?
So some of the characteristics that define God is he's perfect. He's
What is
immutable.
perfect? Wait. Let's take one thing at a time, so that way I can understand them. Okay, not to interrupt you. It's so that if you give me something, I can understand what you mean by that and how that represents God and where I can find out about your God. Okay, so we're going to start with perfect. Perfect does mean different things to different people because
Right?
I personally thought that perfect meant without flaw.
Mhm.
And I have found that actually perfect doesn't actually mean without flaw to a lot of Christians. They just mean that it's like really good.
Yeah, I mean, perfect is without error, without sin.
So this God isn't without error, or this God in the Bible is not perfect.
If the God of Abraham is perfect and holy and
No,
without,
no, 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 no,
and if he
no.
wasn't, he
I'm
wouldn't be
saying not
God.
according to the story. He's not though. Like according to the story, he tells you that he has to repent. He has to wipe out the earth after he created because he screwed up. So no, that this God isn't perfect. Maybe the God in your head is, but not the one in this book.
If God was not perfect, he wouldn't be God.
Well,
He
then I
would.
guess he's not God because he's not perfect in this book. The
Good
story
job,
about
because we don't think
himself
he's God.
tells you, hey, I'm not perfect. I fucked up. I didn't do good when I made the world. So I have to wipe it all out so I can start over again because I fucked up.
No, he does everything according to his will, according to his plan. He's sovereign and in
Oh,
control of every detail of your life and
so
my
when
life
you
and history.
screw up, you can just go, actually, I meant to do that. And then you get to pretend like you didn't screw up.
No, God does not make mistakes.
Yeah, but
I
you
was.
did. You can keep just saying that over and over and over and over again. But
Mhm.
I just told you how he tells you he did and the exact story where he tells you it. And you know darn well that that's what it says. I fucked up. I have to start over. And then when he does start over, nothing changes. So obviously he still fucked up. He does not claim that he is perfect. Well, he probably claims it, but he claims a lot of shit that's not true about himself in here. But in this book shows you he's not perfect. There's so many things that make him not perfect in this book that it's a plethora.
I mean, I disagree about that, but just one example is how Jesus came to earth and was put on the cross, and Satan was behind that, and he thought he was,
No,
you know,
Satan
he thought,
wasn't behind that. God
yeah,
tells you that
he was.
he made Jesus the sacrifice before he ever made the earth because he knew he was gonna fuck up.
No, let me answer. So, didn't Jesus tell Judas, go and do what you have to do, and then Satan entered Judas. Judas went and betrayed Jesus at that time.
But that was all
Satan,
God's plan because God knew he
exactly,
fucked up. Yeah, because he fucked up.
exactly.
I'm sorry,
So
who
what you're
sent
saying is,
Jesus?
as long as I say I meant to do that, it doesn't matter how much I fuck up. As long as I say afterwards, I meant to do that.
No, so again, you're missing my point. God
No,
had a
I'm not
plan.
missing your point. You're just missing the lie. Okay?
God
Yeah.
had
It's
a
a
plan.
lie.
Mhm. So from before the foundation of the earth, God had a plan. I was just talking about this with my barber yesterday. So when he made Adam and Eve, my barber said, okay, so if God knows everything, why did he make Adam and Eve? And why did he put that fruit in the garden? And
Mm-hmm.
he knew they were going to eat it. Why did he let them eat it if he knows everything? Because his plan, he knew what his plan was since before the foundation of the world, which is for his son to die on the cross for the sins of many.
So it was all arbitrary
Critically,
then. Then you just pointed out how the whole thing is arbitrary at
Well,
that
it's not
point. You're going,
arbitrary.
yes,
It's all for his son
yes,
to
yes, it
receive
is.
the glory.
Right. So this is exactly what you're telling me happened. Hey, you know what? I want to receive actually it's not for his son, by the way, it's for him to receive glory. Don't mess that up, okay?
They're the same.
Fucking Jesus,
Jesus is God. The
no,
Father is
Jesus
God. The
fucking
Holy Spirit is
no,
God.
no. Jesus says only God is good and only to him be the glory. Don't even fuck that up, okay? Jesus tells you that, okay? Anyway, so God can have the glory, so he goes, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to kill my son so I can save my son so I can look like a hero and receive glory from everybody. It's arbitrary then. It's the dumbest story in the history of fucking like Dumbo is a better story than the story of this God. I'm going to kill my son so I can save my son so I can pretend like I'm hero for the whole world and I get a bunch of glory. And you guys all go, okay, cool. Here's your glory. Why are you doing that?
Not to mention that God could have made the wages of sin anything,
Yeah.
and he chose that it would be death. Why would he choose that if he was all loving?
So,
yeah.
Host, do you believe there's sin? Do you think sin is a thing? Do you think it's a real thing? Do you think it's a made up, imaginary thing made up by man? Or what do you think about sin?
Christians made it up. That's what Christians.
So all this evil that's going on in the world, all this hatred, all this
No,
killing, all this
bad
rape,
things
all this stuff.
happen. That's not sin. Bad things happen because people do bad things. It's not sin. It's people doing bad things.
So let's say a rapist who doesn't go to jail, gets away with it and does it his whole
Hmm.
life, is there going
Hmm.
to be a judgment for him after death, or he's just going to go to the
No,
grave and
he's going to just go to the grave, and that fucking sucks. But you know what would stop shitty things like that from happening? If we would stop pretending that there's some ultimate judgment in the afterlife and we start fucking holding people accountable here on this earth and stop letting P3DO preachers continue to have access to children.
That part.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. And this just makes your worldview look silly, redeemed, because the God that you worship is offended when people make fun of a bald prophet. So that bald prophet will send bears to attack children for making fun of him for being bald, yet he won't stop the grapists from graping the
Yeah.
innocent person. Like, the absurdities within your worldview is just astounding.
And
There's
let me
tons of
quickly
them.
add, great point. Let me quickly add the Germanic side. This sin word is a Germanic, Proto-Germanic. I tell you, those Germans, they're all up in Christianity. And also what the gentleman is doing, the believer, is called eisegesis. There's exegesis and eisegesis. And exegesis is when a believer looks at the scriptures and says what they think the person was saying explicitly. Eisegesis is they come up here and give all kinds of speculation, which would put them in the category of prophet. So just wanted to clarify that. Thanks.
I think I'm interpreting the scriptures correctly according to what they mean to say, not according to what I want them to say. And then also, Darknet, you said that my worldview is absurd. I would ask you, what's your worldview?
Yeah, so I'm a skeptic. I'm also an agnostic. So
Can you define that more? Like, by agnostic, you mean, you know,
so I suspend judgment on whether or not there is a God.
what do you mean by suspend judgment? Does it mean you don't
Like,
know or you don't care?
I don't take a position.
So you're neutral.
If you want to define it as neutral, that's fine. Sure.
Okay, so where do you think we came from? Do you think we came from the Big Bang? Do you think we evolved from monkeys? Where do you think we came from?
That one always cracks me up. When are you guys gonna quit saying monkeys and
Monkeys.
elevate your
Primates,
argument?
apes.
Redeemed, elevate your argument so you don't sound ignorant on the get, okay? When you come up here, go, I actually need to sound like I know what I'm talking about, so I'm not going to use stupid things that Christians have said for years that make us get laughed at and mocked. I'm going to come up and at least say something intelligent. So do you think we came from abiogenesis? Okay, there, that's what you say instead of monkeys, okay?
Thanks for that. I'm not a scholar by any means, but
Well,
abiogenesis, what is
you don't
that?
have to be a scholar to know that nobody thinks we came from monkeys. Okay, you don't need to be a scholar to know that.
Okay, well,
Abiogenesis means that life came from non-life.
Non-organic life. And
Thank you.
abiogenesis.
Non-organic would be a better way to say.
And it's a real thing, but what happens is believers do circular references and the prefrontal cortex of their brain isn't often activated. So what's activated is the limbic system. And in the limbic system, we get fight, flight, freeze, etc. And therefore we get logical fallacies, because if you can't get to executive function, what are you going to do? Limbic system, but this is all unconscious and subconscious. That's why it takes maybe years of retraining the thinker to realize all of the stuff that they have lost. I'm 60 and I still catch myself every day slipping up with a thought going back to Jehovah's Witness. And I have to say, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense to think that. Why did that occur in my mind? Then I reflect and catch it. It's very difficult, as you will see. No matter what we tell him for now, I don't think it's going to get through. However, maybe in 6 months, 5 years, it may hit him if he's open-minded and humble.
You just made me realize, Cyclic, something I should be doing that I'm not doing. Like, I will have those thoughts too, right? But I have not been asking myself why. I have just been going, what are you doing thinking that, and kind of brushing it aside. But I think it would be so much better if I ask myself why, so that I could understand myself better to not continue to repeat the bad, because I think that's a bad habit personally.
Yeah, because it'll remove the shame from it for you, because that's what the religion wanted you to have, is a lot of shame about the way that your natural human mind and brain functions.
Correct.
Cyclic. So again, you said, maybe in 6 months I'll come to the realization that God is just a myth. But again, I repeat to you, John chapter 10, it says, my sheep hear my voice and I know them and they follow me. I give them eternal life and they will never perish.
Redeemed, you don't need to come up here and preach. You don't need to preach. That doesn't,
just reading the verse.
Again, you're just making another claim. Nothing you've said up here right now has been backed up by anything. All you've done
It's backed
is
up by the word of God.
Again, that's That's circular. Can you see? You're doing that again. It does. So I am backed up by myself. Does that help you? Does that make you believe me anymore? No, of course not. So backing something up with itself does not help. Okay. You have come up here. You made claim after claim. You have sound just like any other member of any other cult, and you've done nothing to help us better understand your God. One thing I do know is that if you think that your God is perfect, your God is not this.
And
I think
I
it,
have a
I think
just
this
I'm
is
sorry, just a quick question for him. Redeem. You can also always redeem yourself. Why did your perfect God write in a man-made language?
But
How else do you want to communicate with us?
No, you're asking me a question. I asked you a question. Why did your perfect God choose Hebrew or Aramaic as opposed to Python, which would have been a much better language? If you know computers, you would know it makes more sense. Why write in a language that requires human translation and transliteration and errors?
I don't understand your question.
Okay.
Why did God choose the Hebrew language? Why did God choose
Okay.
Abraham? Why did
Did
God choose a small people to
did
bring in his
okay.
savior
redeem,
through?
redeem. He did not say all that. So hang on one second before we continue to go on that. Dark, what did you want to say a second ago?
no, well, it's actually just gonna take the conversation elsewhere, so I don't want to like
I don't think he
jump
can
away from this
answer this
question.
question. I don't think he gets the question.
Yeah.
Redeemed, I'll try to make it simple for you, okay? Okay. Let's say I'm from the future, okay, Redeemed? I'm from 20 years in the future, right? So I have all the knowledge between now and 20 years, right? And I
Yeah.
can come back and tell you something about the future, and I come back and tell you there's an app called, and I'm telling you it right now, and I have all of the information of the future. Does that sound very supernatural to you? Does that prove that I'm from the future?
You said if your mic cut out, but you said if you went to the future and saw what?
And now I come back to you, I'm reporting about the future, and I tell you there's an app called TikTok. You're going to be like, yeah, there's a fucking app called TikTok right now, right? It doesn't
Right.
sound very futuristic, right? I don't sound very supernatural, or right? Well, God
Mm-hmm.
doesn't seem very supernatural either. If he has to use a human language, use actually only one human language, and when there were better languages and better ways to communicate to us, if he's so all powerful,
He could have used a
all knowing.
universal language to reach more people if he had ultimate truth.
Right.
So this
Like
isn't a reliable avenue for reaching a universal truth.
yes, like Esperanto. It's a universal language, but God didn't know about Esperanto because he was men. Men in a limited part of the world that spoke certain languages and dialects and knew about sheep and goat, but didn't know that there were people in Australia for 70,000 years with boomerangs. So, of course, we look at that group, meaning the Bible's supposed prophets, and believers think that's 100% of our earth. No, it's some goat herders that had limited experience, were misogynistic, supported child abuse, supported slavery, supported sacrifice, and took and cherry picked from the
And
Sumerians
rape.
and grape. And the Sumerians, the Babylonians, they stole from the people of Kemet. They took a bit from the Indus Valley when it got back after the Aryans returned. And here we have today people, including my mother, my siblings, who still believe this stuff. It's really amazing.
So, can I say something?
Yeah.
So, I just want to say I appreciate how we're able to, come to a panel and have a respectful conversation, on opposite ends of the spectrum. I really appreciate this. Um, the host said, if God is all powerful, why didn't he communicate to us in this language? So my answer to you is creating the heavens and the earth not make him powerful? Is that not
That
powerful
that
enough for
doesn't
you?
answer the question, and that's what you keep doing, and it's called you're evading the question. And
Well,
what
no,
This
what
I'm
people
not. I'm
do?
not
What?
evading it.
Excuse me. I'm still speaking. Everybody, I'm still speaking. When you answer a question with a question, you're evading. When you answer a question with a question that has nothing to do with what we're talking about, you're pivoting and evading. And it is okay to say, I don't know. It's okay to say, I don't feel like answering that question. But you just asking other questions, you did it to the other host as well. It is evading.
Yeah, I'm not trying to evade your question.
No, you are.
Why did God choose Hebrew? I don't know. He could have chosen any language. He chose Hebrew. That's the answer to that.
Yeah, that
There
was
you
my
go.
point in asking the question. If he could have chosen another language, Python is a better language. So you got the example from the host. God could go 20 years. Well, he could have gone 20 million years if he had the power you say he had. But instead, not only did he write in a man made language, I made a typo in the comments. I put TGE instead of THE. Imagine humans writing all this stuff. They made mistakes. They had transliteration problems, translation problems, and then we got King James. But it's hard for people to fathom men made this stuff up to control and manipulate women, children, and groups that they wanted to conquer.
Yeah, I think religion, just like many other things, have been used to manipulate weak-minded people or even strong-minded people. So I'm not disagreeing with that. But that doesn't negate the fact that there is a God and He has revealed Himself to us through His Word.
You keep going back into a preaching narrative. I gave you, and everyone did, you saying, well, that's religion. Well, what do you think the Holy Book is supporting? Slavery, rape of women, cutting off. I can't even say all this stuff without getting the room flagged. But you're going to say, no, well, that's not really the Bible. That's not really Jesus. That's religion. Well, what do you think Jesus was trying to do? Get people to be what? In which group? To follow commandments. Now you can
He
cherry
came
pick
to
sections. Let
seek
me
and save
let me
His lost sheep.
you could be a poet, by the way. If you do a spoken word, I'll pull up. But when it comes to critical thinking, you're not doing well. I'll buy 10 tickets, I guarantee you. But you've got to think you're talking to adults here. And we're chronological, emotional, cognitive adults. Now, in Sunday school, I think some of what people say on these lives would work for 5-year-olds chronologically. But people that are 40, 50, 60, who've been around the block, lived around the world, it isn't working. You've got to improve your knowledge in order to have a deeper conversation. Right now, you're going in circles.
I don't see how I'm going in circles, Cyclic, but also I heard you say that you were a Jehovah's Witness at one point. And I love my Jehovah's Witness friends. I think that a lot of them are very kind-hearted, well-meaning individuals. I do think that they are erroneous in their view of Jesus and other things. They think that Jesus was a prophet and not God, and I think that's heresy. And so I would implore you,
How loving of you.
Cyclic, to come to the real truth, which is that Jesus is God. He's not a prophet. He's not merely a man. He is God that came into this world.
Okay, you're doing the same thing. Tell us about the Australian government investigating Jehovah's Witnesses. What can you tell us? Since they're good people.
I don't follow Jehovah's Witnesses too
That's
much.
not what I'm asking.
I don't know what their current standing is in the
Okay,
world.
so why would you tell an audience of people who have children to protect against the pedophiles that they're good people? Let me quickly tell you, they were investigated by the Australian government for high crimes against children in the bedroom, etc. I know that I saw and we experienced as children in the group a lot of that type of abuse, right? For you to come on and don't even know witnesses. Do you know who Charles Tez
Oh,
Russell
I
is?
do. Well, I do know
No, hold
Jehovah's Witnesses.
on.
My aunt
Don't
is
cut
a
me
Jehovah's
off.
Witness.
No, hold on. See, no empathy for victims. You notice what he did, right? Someone
Yep.
just mentioned child abuse. He ignored all of that and went right to, well, I'm going to defend him. Who was Charles Tez Russell?
I'm sorry. I don't mean to
Okay,
belittle
no,
child
no.
abuse.
I asked
That's
you a
it's a
question.
cruelty. But
Okay, good.
Charles
Who?
Taze Russell was one of the founders of Jehovah's Witness.
No, you're wrong.
Oh, who was he?
J.F. Rutherford founded the Jehovah's Witnesses in about 1932. Charles Taze Russell founded Dawn Bible Students. Do you know about Millerism? You probably don't. There was the Second Great Awakening, an earthquake in America, and some people thought it was the end of the world. So a man named Miller created Millerism. In the audience was a guy named Charles Taze Russell. He, from that, created Dawn Bible Students and the Bible Students Movement. There was a young kid in his group named J.F. Rutherford. That young man was a J person. Not all J people were involved, by the way. This is just historically accurate. Who became a lawyer, took over the movement, and created the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society. Where was their headquarters? Brooklyn, New York, right across the Brooklyn Bridge. They recently sold the land and moved their entity upstate. I could go on about witnesses for years, but I don't think it would matter to you because you're about to tell me something good about your God. Here we go. You got the mic.
Well, no, I was gonna say, I'm upset. I'm sad that there's these horrific things going on within the Jehovah's Witness camp. But that again, there's horrific things going on in the Catholic Church, in the Christian Church, in the Jehovah's Witness Church. There's horrific things
Yes.
going
And
on in
what do they
politics.
all have in common? I
Well,
wonder
also
what
I was
all
saying
they
politics.
have in common. Politics has always been shitty, but the fact that all of these all centralize what they believe in, maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. I'm just
I don't
saying,
know.
this Bible
Just
tells them to be hateful. This Bible tells them to be supremacists. This Bible tells them that women and children don't matter. And then they act like that, and you guys go, oh, but they're not us. They are you. They're doing what this book says to do.
Not to mention, it also lacks the conversation of telling people not to own other people, not to, I don't know, touch children.
Hey, real quick, I need to do some housekeeping. You guys, thank you much. Thank you much. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you
the
much.
63,000 likes. I am trying to get to 100,000. So if you keep tapping that screen, if you can, there's probably a toy in your nightstand. And did you know if you turn that on? Yep, it works. Yeah, tap the screen. Thank you so much. By the way, I have a new gift going, and I do not normally do this. Okay, I will stay live one more hour if we reach that other gift goal. If we don't, I'll be shutting down the live in about 9 minutes. And Doug just went to get lunch, so I'll be eating lunch. But I'll stay live with you guys for an hour more if we reach the second gift goal. If not, gifts are always appreciated, never expected. You're helping me upgrade my equipment, and apparently now I have to buy a new phone, so might take a little while before I upgrade the equipment. I do appreciate also if you want to tip, there are ways to tip in my link tree. So thank you very much for all your support. I really appreciate it. We can continue the conversation now. I just wanted to let you know. Hey Jade, how are you?
and
So host, I'm sorry, Cyclic, go ahead.
yeah, I have a question. You have said the other groups are the bad guys, Jehovah's Witnesses, Catholic. Which denomination, if any, are you in? And if you're not in a denomination, are you the lone wolf? Meaning you have found the right reading of your Bible that all the other groups don't have. What is your denomination?
So I attend a non-denominational church, but there are core beliefs that I think you have to.
What is the name of the church, brother?
I'd be revealing where I go. I'd be revealing where I live, but it's called
No,
Watermark.
we're not asking for the address. Is there a
Watermark.
name? You mean
Watermark
it's
Church.
one church in, what's that?
Watermark Church.
And what do you all come under? You know about the schisms?
No.
Oh man, they didn't even tell you all about the schisms. We have a lot of work to do, brother. Schisms occurred at various junctures in different religions. In the Christian religion, the main schism was Protestant Reformation. You've heard of that?
Yes, sir.
So do you come under the Protestant Reformation, your church?
That's when they protested against the Catholic Church and separated from the Catholic Church.
You're talking Martin Luther, but my point is, what do you come under? You have a church X. Does it come under Anglican? Does it come under Catholic? Or is it totally outside of the Protestant
Is
Reformation,
it
like Jehovah's Witnesses?
non-denominational? Is it Jehovah's Witness? Are you
Yeah, what are
Mormon?
you?
Yeah, I said we're non-denominational.
Oh, okay.
So you're non-denominational, meaning you have no connection. Also, possibly, I could be wrong now. I'm just saying what I think I'm hearing. You're non-denominational, so any denomination can pull up, including Jehovah's Witnesses, Seventh-day Adventists, and Mormons.
I love Seventh-day Adventists and Mormons and Jehovah's Witnesses. However, they are erroneous in the core beliefs where they reduce Jesus to merely a man. Or they have other weird beliefs, like Jehovah's Witnesses don't believe in Hell, or Mormons believe that the devil was Jesus's brother. Things like that are erroneous.
No, that's not
Before we
true.
go any
Jehovah's
further,
Witnesses do believe.
I need to do two things because we're going to be closing down the show real soon. I want to let Elle know in the chat. I absolutely 100% sure the fuck do profit from this. I profit is not very big at margins though for the amount of work that I put into this. Okay, if you knew the amount of work I did for this community, you'd actually be flabbergasted. I helped raise thousands of dollars last year for our community to help people with medical bills, people who couldn't pay for their groceries, people who needed help with their cars, with new appliances, with things that they needed in their real life because government funded was taken away by people like you, sir. And let me tell you something else. The time that I take away deserves to be paid because I help people learn. I educate people every day, sir, every single motherfucking day. I don't just sit in a chat room chirping because I'm a pussy. Okay. I get up here and I let people say some of the most heinous things you've ever heard somebody say to another human being. I do that on the daily so that I can educate women and minorities that this fucking religion is not for you. Get out. It's supremacy culture. You are being abused with inside this system and you're abusing others if you stay in it. Okay. So yeah, people send me gifts, people send me tips, people help me upgrade my equipment, people help me because I help them. Unlike you who sits there yapping in a chat room.
I got nothing wrong with that, and I'm not even on your side. If you're putting out a show, you deserve to get paid for it. You're putting out a show for people to watch. I mean,
Yeah, there are costs involved. I mean, it's only common sense. But he's just, the
yeah,
person.
because it's like at the very least, even at if I gave you the worst reading of what you do, you're still at the very least you'd be providing free entertainment for thousands of people a week. So even if I fundamentally disagree with all your beliefs, just from an economics standpoint, you're providing free content. So if people want to tip you for that, it's like when you're walking past a guy playing the guitar at the park and you throw a few dollar bills in his guitar case. It's like you're providing free entertainment, for better or for worse. So there's nothing wrong with you making some money off of that.
A total idiot. I do need to know your age for TikTok purposes,
27.
even though you're glazing me. Okay,
27.
What? 27? You needed to come up and tell me something. I am going to be closing down. If you are in the box, I will be live. What day is today? Is today Friday? I'll be live again on Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific time for more conversations. But you wanted to come up and say something.
I understand your press for time. I know. I just wanted to do the whole topic at hand. I was going to join your live when you first launched at 10, but then I got called into work, and then I guess got let out, and you're still live streaming. And I'm like, okay, maybe I could hop on now. But yeah,
okay, I'll do one more thing. You guys, if you want us to stay, I've got more guests. We can talk to people for longer, but we've got to hit the gift goal. And yes, the gift goals allow me to spend this time because I'm literally taking away from family and other responsibilities when I'm doing this. So if you want that, let's hit the gift goal. If not, we can put a pin in it, and I will be back on Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. But thank you guys so much for all of the likes, shares, for the conversations, for for subscribing, for the people over on YouTube. Thank you so much for all the engagement. We can do a Sarah raid. That would be great. What is Sarah's TikTok name? Can you
Pink
put it
and blue
in the
shark.
chat? Okay. I didn't know if there's any little things or anything. So I was like, I don't want to just say pink and blue shirt because I was afraid there might be, a rainbow or something. You know how people put emojis in it? Anyway, Pink and Blue Shark is Sarah. We're going to raid Sarah. Thank you, Total Idiot. Come back on Monday if you can. Redeemed, you're welcome back as well. Cyclic, it was good seeing you. I knew your voice the minute I heard it. I'm like, his voice is so familiar. By the way, Cyclic and I used to panel together often on African Atheist Live as well. So that is how I know Cyclic. We were talking
Yeah.
about her live earlier.
Nice.
And Dark Knight, make sure you guys are following everybody. Just follow everybody. Just show love, right? And Dark Knight, when are you going live again?
Probably, I have about like 20 more days left before I get back on.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
All right.
So it's
Well,
gonna be
you
a
are
while.
always welcome to come up and hang with me anytime you want, okay? And
Appreciate
Schley,
that.
Oh,
what?
love
I love
you.
you. Thank
It
you
was so
so
fun
much
to
for
be here
being
today.
here.
Thanks for having me. Cyclic, I really enjoyed getting to hear your perspective. Dark, always good to see you as well. Crystal, I love you.
I love you too. And I would play you guys out on the song, but I am hungry and I want to go eat lunch. But I do
Oh,
want to tell you this: my album will be coming out on Spotify later this month. And and if you want to listen to them now, they're on YouTube Music.
send me the link. I can share it in my external groups. The Arian
Awesome.
controversy is what some people follow. Jesus was created by God. The Catholic group, the Nicene Creed, Jesus and God are the same. So the man talking his religion against Jehovah's Witnesses, he doesn't realize he falls under the Catholic branch of the schism.
Right? That's true, huh?
Yeah, he doesn't
Dang.
even know. Yeah, they don't
I didn't
know.
know either. I didn't know shit about what I believe. The more I talk to all of you, the more I realize how much I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
we're
I
all
go,
learning.
wow. Yeah.
I learn stuff
Yeah.
every day. But guess what?
I
We're
love it.
humble enough to listen to other people.
True.
So,
True.
but I won't hold you up. Enjoy, and we have
Thank
to stay in touch. I'll send you my
It was
email
so good
address.
to
And
see you. Okay,
same here.
awesome. Good
Same
to
here.
see you. You
Bye.
guys, thank you. Have a beautiful day. Go raid a pink and blue shark and say Crystal loves her. And I will see you around the mean streets of TikTok and YouTube. Goodbye, everybody.